specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. And Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bassett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vivetto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
The Scotch eggs at Elevation start with a perfectly hard-boiled egg surrounded by chorizo, panko breading, and the signature tangy Elevation sauce.
Don't worry, guys, we have more.
Try the Scotch eggs. You leave satisfied at Elevation.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bassett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bassett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bassett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vivetto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
Summer baseball here on the PSP Network as we get geared up and ready for a conference showdown here this afternoon between the Bismarck Governors and the Minot Vistas. Thanks for joining us here on the PSP Network as we get geared up and ready for summer baseball here on the PSP Network. Today we'll be joined in game number 1 by the Executive Director of Magic City Youth Baseball. It's Mr. Andy Latch that joins me to my right. Thanks for some time here tonight, Andy. It's going to be fun calling some baseball with you here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Kind of I got a little different seat for tonight. I've never been in this one before, so
well, I'm sure
broadening the horizon, I guess.
Everybody at home is going to enjoy your insight as, of course, you're one of the guys that is on the wall, is one of the best to ever come through the program, and now with your role as the executive director here for youth baseball in the Magic City. A good one on tap today. It's the Bismarck Governors that sit at 13-6. They're 5-4 in the conference. They come into Minot to take on the Vistas, who sit 6-6 in conference play, 8-11 overall today coming into the matchup. Scotty Cattell's got the official introductions on the field. We'll take our final step aside when we come back. We'll have the opening pitch of this conference matchup today. The Governors from Bismarck are in town to take on the Vistas from Minot. This is summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bassett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vivetto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
God bless our servicemen and women. God bless our veterans. God bless America. Time for summer baseball here on the PSP Network as we get geared up for the matchup with the Minot Vistas and Bismarck Governors. Nick Holberg alongside of Andy Latch here this evening from legendary Corbett Field for summer baseball here on the PSP Network. Again, the Governors come in at 5-4 in conference play. The Vistas sit at 6-6. Not many games left on the year here, Andy. This is an important matchup tonight for both of these ball teams.
Yeah, the standings are for the most part kind of clogged up in the state, other than Fargo Post 2, which you kind of expect off their run from last year. I think they're 9-1, and this is going to be a big game for both squads. A lot of history between these two teams, and Bismarck runs out some great athletes, and Skiddy and Steiner have been with them for a long time, and it should be a lot of fun.
One of those athletes that we'll see today is Cade Feeney. He's on the hill here for the Governors today. The NDSU commit to play baseball for the Bison. He gets the start down the hill today. So does Aiden Almy for the Vistas. Almy is a pitcher for the Vistas that sits on a record of 2-2 on the year. Almy sits on a 4.73 ERA. Here's how Bismarck lines him up here this evening in game number one. Colton Schultley, the right fielder, will lead things off, followed by Nick Hines, the second baseman. Connor Hansen will play first base and bat third. Cade Feeney pitching and cleaning up. Crew Walker's the catcher. He bats fifth. Skylar Ringer is the shortstop. He bats sixth. Connor Wynkoop, Blake center field, bats seventh. Isaac Pegor, the third baseman, bats eighth. And Ben Patton, the left fielder, will be in the ninth spot here tonight. Well, we're just about set for the opening pitch here tonight from legendary Corbett Field for this conference matchup as Alby will be on the hill. Here's his first pitch, and the delivery is going to be spanked foul up the right field line. 69 degrees, the official temperature at the time of our first pitch tonight. 5:03 p.m. just on schedule here tonight. By the way, Braden McCarty behind the dish for the Vistas, calling the shots from the catcher position here tonight. Wind is blowing a little bit heavier than the last time that the Vistas were at home. Cooler night tonight at just about 70 degrees. Albany's second pitch is going to be tattooed right up the hole from Colton Schulte, the right fielder, and he's on for a single. And his first at bat here tonight.
Number 6.
Yeah, Nick, it looked like Almy tried to come in with a curveball, breaking ball, stayed up in the zone a little bit, and Schulte did a good job just right back up the box, kind of what you try and do, especially as a leadoff hitter.
Here's Nick Hines, the second baseman. Left-hander's going to butt one up the line. This one over and fired towards Plemmel. It's going to get away from Jack Plemmel, and rounding the corner is Colton Schulte. There's going to be a throw coming and a play at the plate. McCarty blocks the ball, but the Governors are on the board. They score as Nick Hines puts down the bunt. He gets his way all the way over to second base and brings a runner around. That's Schulte. And the offense rolling early for the Governors here.
Yeah, really good bunt. Harris tried to play it at third and actually did a really good job playing the ball. His throw just was up the line, and Plemmel couldn't make a play up against the runner. And kind of a do-or-die situation. Sometimes that happens.
Connor Hansen now steps in. He's a left-handed batter. This is a big kid that's good on the hockey rink as well, by the way, Andy. They like those all-around athletes. Anytime that you can specialize in more than one sport. Here's the delivery from Almy. That one's going to be fouled back over the head of McCarty.
Do you even really know a lot about hockey?
Yeah, I was joking with the head coach of the Governors, Mike Skitland. Was asking him some questions about the Governors ball team. You know, the last time that they won a state title and some of that stuff. That one's inside for a ball. 2-1 the count. And he had to be a sheet of paper. The assistant coach said, "Here, turn this over." All that information was on the backside. I chuckled a little bit and just said, "Just so you fellas know, hockey's my specialty, but I'm happy to spend my summer nights here at Corbett." This one's going to be hammered right over towards the second baseman for the Vistas.
Yeah, really good job of hitting there to, make the first out, give yourself up. But he hit the ground ball to the right side, moving that runner over. And now I'm not really one of those expert stat guys, but I know there are a lot more ways to get him home from third than second with less than 2 outs. So, and Feeney typically takes care of it.
Cade Feeney, one of the state's top producing athletes in multi-sports. He's going to jack that one out towards Burke. Burke's going to make the play. He's going to fire one back into the infield, but another run will score, and Cade Feeney drives around in. 2 runs have scored now for the Governors here in the top half of the first inning with 2 down, and Cade Feeney batting .469 on the year. Shows why he's on his way to NDSU as he drives in a run.
Yeah, it's, everyone did what they're supposed to do there. It's Almy attacked the strike zone. Feeney's in a good spot. He can be aggressive, and he was, and just made an out to score a run.
This is Crew Walker, the catcher. That one's going to be towered towards Kersey Harris. Kersey makes the play, and the Vistas have some damage done on them. 2 runs are scored on 1 hit in the top half of the first inning. The Vistas come to the plate when we return. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vibeto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
2 runs on 1 hit to the top half of the first inning for the Bismarck Governors as the Vistas will come to bat now here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Thanks for joining us here tonight on the PSP Network for summer baseball. By the way, Planet Pizza brings you tonight's first inning of play in the area's ultimate party locations, school parties, team parties, birthday parties, and so much more. They truly are out of this world. Planet Pizza, they'll deliver tonight at 701-852-1700. They truly are out of this world. Cade Feeney's on the hill for the Governors tonight. He's 4-0 on the season. Andy, when you look at this stat line, you don't see this very often, but in 17 innings pitched, Cade Feeney racking up a massive ERA of 0.00 through 17 innings played on the year.
We kind of talked before the game. You asked me if I thought that could be right or if that was a typo. And 17 innings, 1 run, no earned, 23 strikeouts to just 4 base on balls, just 5 hits given up. He's got some pretty good stuff.
His first one's in there for a strike, and he's not afraid to throw some howitzers. He's the first one that will face him. Ruziska, he's going to fire it right over towards first base, and with the glove, Connor Hansen makes out number 1. That will bring up Chase Burke, the center fielder.
Number 3, center fielder Chase.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Minot try and get on him early. You don't want to get to situations where you're looking at that hard slider. He's got a nice fastball. I would think he's going to get to 90 miles an hour at some point. And, if you can get yourself in a good spot and know it's coming, it's a lot easier to hit that thing.
0-1 the count to Burke. He's going to tattoo this one out towards right field. And a piece of cake there for Colton Schulte. Out number 2, put in the books here by the Governors as Chase Burke, who's batting over 300. One of the guys that likes to face a challenge like Cade Feeney, is retired there, as it will bring up Derek Nygaard now, the shortstop. Feeney's lined up in the pitch. There's some heat on that tonight, isn't there? You think you could hit that still or no?
Might take me a few tries.
Here's the windup of the pitch. That one in for a strike, 1-1 the count. Derek Nygaard, the shortstop for the Vistas. Right-handed batter. He's going to slap that one through the gap in between short and third. And Nygaard is on for the first hit of the ball game here for the Vistas.
Yeah, Derek got a fastball on the inner side and just pulled it through that 5-6 hole. Did a good job getting his barrel to it. And I'm going to be careful what I say, Nick, because I don't need to be challenged like you were.
Yeah, that's a great story, by the way. If you watched the ball game in Dickinson a few weeks ago, you heard the story. That one's in for a strike against Plemmel here, his first at-bats. If you follow Vistas baseball, you heard that story in Dickinson when I was there broadcasting the matchup against the Rough Riders, talking about how I opened my mouth as the announcer of Nodak Speedway. Strike 2, by the way. I ended up driving a hobby stock 2 Sunday nights ago at the Nodak Speedway, the playground of power. By the way, Andy, I was absolutely terrified.
I believe it.
Here's the windup of the pitch from Feeney. That one's outside, ball 1. 1-2 now to Jack Plemmel, who's got the highest batting average on the club here for the Vistas. Batting .397 on the season. It's coming in 63 at-bats for the Vistas. 1 runner on with 2 outs. Feeney the windup of the pitch. Right down Broadway. Struck him out. And the Vistas have 3 up. Make it 4 up and 3 down. 1 hit, no runs earned for the Vistas at the end of 1 inning played. 2-0 Bismarck on top in summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
One inning in the books in this conference matchup tonight with Bismarck and Minot. Summer baseball here on the PSP Network, and it's 2-0 Bismarck at the end of 1 inning played. Top half of the second inning. We'll bring up Skylar Riedinger, shortstop here for the Bismarck Governors. Well, at the break, Andy and I were talking about that experience at Nodak Speedway, and I ended up qualifying for the A-Main that night, Andy, and by the way, everybody does. if there's only 21 drivers there.
You shouldn't tell people that.
I shouldn't tell the whole story the way it really went down, but I took 14th out of 21, which I was pretty proud of. And everyone says, well, that's great. And then I say, yeah, because 7 of those drivers ended up in a bad collision and they were out for the rest of the night. So I was lapped twice in the main event, and that's basically how it went that night. Almy delivers in.
Ooh, good pitch. I thought he maybe went, but the umpire is always right, apparently.
Ball 1 is the call. Chase Lee, Brian Horniker, Jacob Holman here tonight. Holman's behind the dish. Almy delivers in for a strike, 1-1. Beautiful night here at legendary Corbett Field. Some cloud cover at the start of the ball game tonight. Wind up in the pitch outside for ball number 2. Well, Aiden Almy has definitely marked himself as one of the Vistas aces here in the 2020 season. He's had plenty of good outings for the Vistas here this year. The Minot High graduate fires that one in high and away. Ball number 3, 3-1 the count. Such a unique situation with no high school baseball here this year. So many things that play a factor into that. That ball is going to be sent over into the right field gap, and turning the corner at first is Skylar Rittinger. He's in for his first at-bat of the night, marked as a single.
Yeah, I think it was especially tough on pitchers. You know, you look at Cade Feeney, probably one of the best arms in the state, and he's only got 17 innings pitched, and we're sitting here almost mid-July, and you know, usually that number is going to be, with 30 games under your belt in the spring, is in that 50-60 range as far as innings go. So pretty tough on those pitchers, I think.
Sack bunt is going to be picked up by Almy, fired over to Plemmel for out number 1 here in the top half of the second. Sacrifice there from Connor Whitecomb, the center fielder. Isaac Pagors, the third baseman, steps up. Right-handed batter will face Almy here with 1 down. 2-0 Bismarck on top. Almy takes the call from McCarty in the windup of the pitch. Got the corner, strike number 1.
Yeah, good pitch there by Aiden. It looked like he was right on the black, right where he wanted to be. I think he's got some pretty good stuff tonight.
Here's the delivery from Almy. That one's going to come right back to the pitcher. Almy checks the runner. He's already off to third. Almy just picks up out number 2 of inning number 2 as Almy fires over to Jack Plemmel. 3 up, 2 down here for the Vistas. Now as Ben Patton, the left fielder, comes to bat. Batting .255 on the year is Patton for 55 at-bats on the season. Almy the delivery. That one's in for a strike.
The breaking ball there looked like almost a cross between a slider and a curveball, what we call a slurve. Doesn't quite have that 12-6 action, but nice pitch. Backed it up with a nice fastball in the outer part.
Almy looking to retire the side here. 2 down, 2 strikes, no balls. Ben Patton, the left fielder, the right-hander, stepping in with a runner on third in scoring position. That ball's going to be smacked over towards Chase Burke. It's going to find the gap, drops in like a grenade. 1 run will score, and around goes Patton over to second. And the stand-up double brings in the RBI, and it's 3-0 Bismarck Governors.
Yeah, good job of hitting there. Almy tried to come back with that 12-6 curveball, and it stayed up in the zone a little bit, and just hit a line drive to the gap.
Back to the top of the order here for Bismarck. It's Colton Schulte, the right fielder. Schulte batting .424 on the year. 1 for 1 tonight with a single. Sears Valley Saberdogs have returned to action here at legendary Corbett Field. That one down and away, the run and the toss over to third base. And they get him. McCarty fires a howitzer on over to Kersey Harris. And the Vistas, with some strong defense, find themselves out of a jam here in the top half of the second. Let's go to the bottom half of the second. Vistas trailing by a run, or trailing by 3 runs, I should say. 3-0 Bismarck at the end of 2 innings played.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
3-0 Bismarck on top. After an inning and a half complete, Nick Holberg and Andy Latch here on the PSP Network. Nice play from McCarty and a heads-up play from the catcher for the Vistas that finds out number 3.
Yeah, he kind of went to his backhand to scoop the ball, and Bismarck preaches good aggressive base running, and they saw the ball in the dirt, and they were, turf. They were off, but McCarty made a strong throw and made a nice play. I like to see catchers make plays like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you've got somebody behind the dish like that that's got the ability to fire at will with the confidence to be able to pick up and out in that situation, you know that you've got a little bit more confidence back there. Swing and a miss from Vegestead. He wanted that one. Dylan back in the lineup again tonight here for the Vistas, batting .344. Here's the windup from Feeney and the pitch. Little blooper right to the second baseman. And Nick Hines had no problem grabbing that one out of the air. 1 up and 1 down.
Yeah, really got in on his hands a little bit. Maybe a good thing we aren't using wood bats tonight. That might have shattered it.
Kersey Harris, the third baseman, up. Feeney delivers in for a strike. 0-1 the count. Here's the windup and the pitch from Feeney. No speed gun or radar gun here at Corbett Field, but that thing is definitely on a frozen rope tonight. Here's the windup and the pitch. Look out! The sweet chin music there, high and inside. Kersey Harris ducked out of the way of that one. That would have hurt.
That one would have hurt. They all hurt, but that one would have hurt especially.
1-1 the count, 1 down. Here's the windup from Feeney in the pitch. Painted the corner, strike 2. I think the biggest issue for the Vistas on the year and the biggest question mark has been the arms and how many they've got. This ball is going to be fouled back. Heavy cut there for Kersey Harris, 2-2. Talk about the high school baseball season and what that means not to have those arms ready to go by this time of the year, but if you don't have them to begin with, you're definitely going to be in some trouble, and the Vistas kind of seen that this year. No discredit to anybody on the Vistas lineup, but the Vistas, compared to some of the years past, just haven't had the bullpen that they've had. Here's the payoff pitch. It's going to come right back to Feeney. He's going to glove it after it hops up over to first base. Connor Hansen gloves it easily, and there's 2 down for the Vistas.
Yeah, and early in the year they lost Dylan Buchanan, who would have eaten up some innings for him over the summer, and he went out with a broken finger, broken hand, and not his throwing hand, but had to have surgery, and it's a tough loss, not only offensively but on the mound as well.
Logan Merck steps in. He takes strike number 1, batting .267 on the year. Right back at Feeney, and Feeney's going to get it done all by himself here in the bottom half of the second. No hits. Means no runs scored for the Vistas at the end of 2 innings complete. 3-0 Bismarck on top. Bismarck returns to bat in the top half of the third when we return at summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus.
Beautiful night for baseball here at legendary Corbett Field. 3-0 ball game. Bismarck on top. Summer baseball, the PSP Network, brought to you by all those fine sponsors that you hear at those breaks, including our friends from Diamond T Ranch. Diamond T is proud to bring you out of Vistas baseball. Diamond T Ranch, home of premier Hereford cattle, just south of the Magic City. Former Vistas state champions Luke and John Erickson from Diamond T would like to wish the Minot Vistas and all their competitors good luck this season. Visit them online at diamondtranchnD.com. Albee delivers in for a strike as he faces Colton Schulte here, the right fielder, for his second at bat. Here's the windup of the pitch. That one down on the turf. Nice glove from McCarty, 1-1. Talking about the Sabre Dogs returning. What was that like back in your days, Andy, when you played for the Vistas back in your time, and the Minot Mallards were around at that time, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, it was pretty neat. You got to see some of the little things around the ballpark that you see now. You got slim chickens on the fair foul pole, and we had a big
back to Almy, and Almy's going to fire over to Plemmel. One down for the Vistas here in the top half of the third.
We had some different light poles at that time. We had a big Hardy sign that went up and down vertically on the light pole, and I think Brandon Ralph, who ended up playing linebacker at the University of Mary, I think that Hardy sign saved the light pole from being crushed over by one of his balls at one point. He used to hit it.
Isn't it wild how you remember those things and how a time those things stick in your brain? Hines at bat, by the way, the second baseman. He bunted his first at bat. He's back up here in the top half of the third. Yeah, I remember back in the day watching Luke Teagle just hit bombs over that 410 mark. It was a hard hit ball right through the gap, got past Plemmel, and on is Nick Hines, the second baseman, over to first for a single.
The next batter, first baseman, number 15,
Connor Hansen comes up. Fielder's choice is his first at bat.
I'd like to see Almy use his fastball a little bit more. It seems to me like Bismarck hitters have done a lot of damage on that breaking ball, and I'd like to see him challenge hitters with that fastball a little bit. I think it's a little better than what he thinks.
We'll take the call from McCarty. Here's the windup in the pitch. That one's spanked over towards Logan Merck, just on the top of the brown, inside of the right field grass. The Vistas have two down. When you talk about the Sabre Dogs, what's your view on having some summer ball here in the summer on top of the summer ball for the Magic City Youth Program already? It's kind of there's got to be some pros and cons to that. As the director of Minot Youth Baseball, your thoughts on how that relationship has gone and the benefits of having some summer league here?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, ultimately, it's good for the community. It's good for our young athletes to be able to come and see those guys play.
McCarty's going to have the throw down over to Merck at second, and sliding in safely, Nick Hines. Connor Hansen, excuse me.
Some of our families house some of those kids that come and play, and I just think it's overall good for everyone. I think there can be pros and cons to anything, but both sides have been willing to bend a little bit and work things out, and so far, it's been really great to have them here, and it's been fairly easy to coexist with them. So,
it's Cade Feeney at the plate, by the way, and Feeney's gonna see ball number 4. Feeney's gonna trot over to first base, brings up Crew Walker. Well, any time that you have to share a facility where you've been making your home for how many years now, it certainly poses some logistical concerns, maybe, I guess you could say, you'd have to think.
Yeah, I think some of the biggest issues have been the scheduling, and we've been challenged a little bit with scheduling to try and get that done just a little bit earlier in the season, so the Sabre Dogs can, so we can work out some of those, things, those scheduling conflicts, if you will.
Here's the windup of the pitch from Albee. That ball's going to fall into right field. Is there going to be a play? No, the ball's dropped and the runners advance. The runners are on the corners now. Here with 2 outs. Another run scores, and it's 4-0. Bismarck Governors on top. Nick Hines got around to score there. Brings up Skylar Reedinger. Crew Walker and Kate Feeney on the corners. Here's the windup of the pitch from Albee. Down and away, ball 1. Sabre Dogs definitely do a great job with the entertainment value here at legendary Corbett Field. More than just baseball, it's entertainment. That ball's going to be spanked up the left field line. Just foul. 1-1.
Yeah, just missed a double there. It's
One for one of the ball game so far for Reedinger. Albee checks the runner at first, then Reedinger's going to pound that one out to left center field. Gets past Burke. He's going to round the bases. 1 run will score. Now another comes around. He's heading to third, and the baseball was dropped out of the glove there from the Vistas. Derek Nygaard, the shortstop, and the triple will score 2, and it's 6-0. Bismarck Governors on an excellent shot that was bobbed over to left center field, and an excellent at-bat there for Skylar Reedinger.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been a changeup. I'm not completely sure if Alme throws a changeup or a split finger, and he just sat back on it. Decent relay. Looked like there might have been a play at third, but ball was kind of bobbled by the shortstop, and he was able to get in with the triple.
Two RBI triple from Reedinger brings the score to 6-0 Bismarck. Next out of importance here can go without being said as the Vistas find themselves taking some damage here in the top half of the third. Albee paints the corner, strike number 1, 2-1 the count.
Hayden's really made some good pitches. Bismarck is a good hitting team, and just like you said, Nick, you always have to move forward with baseball and realize that the next out is always the biggest out. You never know what can happen. You might make a good pitch to save this run from scoring and come back and win the ball game. You never know.
Ball's going to be plastered over towards third base. That one got out of the glove of Kersey Harris, and an RBI single is marked down in the books for Connor Wycombe. 7-0 Bismarck now on top. They were 2 down in the top half of the third inning. There's a conversation at the mound as Aiden Albee will have a visit now with catcher McCarty and Pat Arnston, who comes out. When you look at the overall number for Bismarck as a team collectively, they bat .339 on the year. If you're in the coaching position for this Bismarck Governors team or any team, is that number, have you satisfied at this point in the year, early out of the season or midway through the season with no high school ball?
That's a good number. Anytime you really have, as a team, can hit over 300 and they're almost 350, that's a real good number. Looks like they have 187 hits in about 21 games, something like that. So, they're averaging almost, somewhere between 8 and 10 hits per game. So, anytime you can get to 10 hits per game, you're doing all right as a team. Yeah.
The Vistas on the other side, by the way, 155 for the number of hits. They've scored 109 runs. They bat .291 collectively here in the 2020 campaign. Albee trying to get out of the top half of the third. This ball's going to be bobbed over towards left field, trying to make a play, and doing so is Talon Hebert. He slides on the belly and puts it into the bleeding. 4 runs are scored as the Vistas find themselves down 7-0. They come back to bat in the bottom half of the third. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network. Governors on top, 7-rip at the end of 2.5 played.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vibeto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
Four runs scored on 4 hits for the Bismarck Governors in the top half of the 3rd inning, and the Vistas come to bat now and look to see if they can find some offense of their own as Braden McCarty, the catcher, will lead things off. He'll bat for the first time here in the ballgame tonight. Again, it's one of those cliche questions here, Andy, but how big is a big at-bat and a big round of hitting here for the Vistas after they just got shelled a bit? 4 runs given up in the 3rd.
Yeah, this is a point where as a coach and players, you're just telling your teammates, you're telling your players, we got to chip away at this thing a little bit. I think your goal is by the 5th or 6th inning to be within a couple runs, give yourself a chance at the end, and so I think it's real big here to get a couple hits and at least put a little pressure on Feeney to pitch a little bit with guys on base and get him in a little jam himself.
Braden McCarty at bat, the catcher. Swung on, strike number 2 and a heavy cut, the swing and a miss. Well, on the year for Braden McCarty, batting .242. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Down and away, 2-2. Fair to say that Cade Feeney's probably the top gun in the state of North Dakota at this point of the 2020 season. Strike 3 as McCarty will sit down looking.
Yeah, I think at least one of we haven't seen Fargos and West Fargos over here in the West too much, and they always have a couple guys, but Cade is definitely establishing his fastball at this point. We don't have the advantage of stat guys working stuff out for us, but I'm not sure he's thrown a breaking ball the whole game yet. It seems like he's been just all fastball to me.
Right down Broadway for the most part as well. Not keeping track of the pitch count here tonight, but hasn't taken Feeney many. 1 registered hit for the Vistas tonight. That one paints the corner in for a strike 1 and 2. This is Talon Hebert that's at bat, by the way. Hebert batting 182 on the year. Right fielder for the Vistas looking to see if he can get 1 out run started here for the Vistas. That one misses the corner, 2 and 2. Well, that name Feeney's been around for a while at Bismarck Century. On the gridiron, basketball courts, the baseball field as well. 3 and 2. Here's the full count now as Feeney missed on the inside. Here comes the payoff pitch. 7-0 Bismarck on top. Minot looking for their 9th overall win of the year. Swung on and a miss. Another came for Feeney. And there's 2 down for the Vistas as they go back to the top of the order with Hunter Ruziska.
Number 21, left fielder Hunter Ruziska.
It'll be interesting to see here the second time through the order if Feeney's going to change some things up and go to a slider or that looked like it might have been a shot at a slider or some type of split finger or something. He's kind of a power pitcher, so he's probably more of a slider split finger guy. Kind of like Carson Tonini would have been for the Vistas last year. It'll be interesting to see if he goes to more off-speed stuff here the second time through the order.
1-1 to count. Here's the delivery. That one right down Broadway again and a strike. Fastballs are coming in hot tonight from Cade Feeney. There's the windup of the pitch. Swung and a miss. Ball went down to the dirt. Be a play on first base and a throw down to first. 3 up, 3 down for the Vistas at the end of 3 innings played. Bismarck still on top, 7-0. No runs and no hits. In the bottom half of the 3rd, let's go to the 4th in summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line. One hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
7-0 Governors on top of the Vistas here from legendary Corbett Field, and the Vistas have made a pitching change. They go to number 10, Caleb Ring, right-hander, after Almy gives up 7 runs on 7 hits. Getting on a bad outing again for Almy here tonight. Those numbers don't look as good as he pitched in my mind. Bismarck just placed the ball well and had some good at-bats.
I agree. I thought Aiden made some good pitches. He obviously he gave up 7 runs on 7 hits, so there are a couple that he's probably going to want back. But 6 earned runs over 3 innings, and as far as a pitcher goes, it's still pretty early. You're still trying to get your arm worked in, and I thought he had some decent stuff, and you got to score runs to beat Bismarck. That's the name of the game. So,
well, especially when they've got Feeney on the hill throwing the way he has here in the ball game. I've thought that about Almy all year long. I've just, down at Dickinson, same thing. Talking with Pat Arnston after Almy and Nissen went that night. Game number 1 went to Almy, game number 2 to Nissen. They both got tagged with losses that night, but when you looked at the way that the ball was placed from Dickinson, it was just that they had a good night at the offensive side of that bat. This one's going to get through the first hit of the ball game there for number 3, Ben Patton. I'm sorry, that's his second hit, an RBI double. In his last at bat, don't take anything away from that. And the Governors have one on.
looks like the official scorer went with an error there. They thought Nygaard maybe should have made that play. He was kind of in between line drive and short hop for a ground ball, and it just got through him.
Back to the top of the order for Colton Schulte, the right fielder. He's got a single in the ball game tonight. He's 1 for 2. Look out, sweet chin music there coming from Caleb Ring. High and inside, ball number 2. As you mentioned, the air charge to Nygaard. Here's the windup and the pitch from Ring. Hits the corner, strike one. By the way, if you're buying or selling a home, let 701 Realty's Andrew or McKenna Goodmanson make your experience a positive one. Give the Goodmansons a call at 701 Realty today or visit them online at 701realty.com. That one fouled away. Look out in the parking lot.
Goody could hit, by the way.
Yes, he could. Mentioned that before in these broadcasts. He's a good buddy of mine. And I remember as a 15-year-old, he used to bomb some over the fence here at Corbett Field. 316 up the line, 410 up the middle. He could go opposite field as well. That's why he ended up one of the better at UND for a while. Still in the record books, I believe, with some stat. I should look it up, but most doubles in a career or something like that at the University of North Dakota. Had a good run there after his time at Nebraska and then on to the University of North Dakota. Let's go up to Nick Hines now, the second batter in the lineup here for the Governors, as Schulte was on for a single. Bunted his first at bat. Got on with a single, then stole the base. Came around to score as well here in the ball game. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Ring's doing exactly what you want him to do. Middle innings here. Probably not, at least not a regular starter on the hill for the Vistas. He's coming in, he's throwing strikes. He had an error and kind of a
throw down over to third from McCarty. Not in time, is sliding in safely over there. The Governors now have runners on the corners.
Yeah, he gave up that error and kind of a bleeding single to right center, and you come in out of the bullpen, you got to throw strikes and make the other team earn it. And That's really your job, is to throw strikes and let your defense work behind you and hope that your offense gets going at some point.
7-0 Bismarck on top. Top half of the fourth inning. Here's the windup of the pitch from Ring. That one high and away. Have to think at this point of the ballgame, the challenge for the Vistas is the confidence level right now against Feeney, who's given up 1 hit in the ball game. Vistas have given up 8. 7 runs have scored. Here's an opportunity for the double play ball, but it's just going to be tossed over to first. RBI on the fielder's choice there as Ring tossed it over to Plemmel. 1 down for the Vistas, but another run scores. 8-0 Bismarck on top.
Yeah, just kind of a chopper. I don't think it was really off the plate, but just out in front of the plate, and Caleb looked towards second, but probably made the smart move and went to first and got the out.
Connor Hansen steps up, the third batter on the list here for the Governors tonight. 0 for 2 in the ball game. 1 down here for the Vistas. 10 state titles all time for the Minot Vistas. 12 for the Bismarck Governors. Their last was in 2014. Since then, it's pretty much been dominated by the east side of the state of North Dakota. Fargo Post 2 has been the team that's been the team to beat for a while with what they did last year. Andy, you mentioned that earlier in the broadcast tonight. Hansen's going to hammer this one over to Merck, the second baseman, playing at first. And there's 2 down for the Vistas now. After what they did with their run all the way to the World Series last year, playing for the championship and taking second, they certainly represented the region well.
Yeah, they sure did. They have a lot of really good athletes, and they were able to put it together last year, and it was really neat to see a team from North Dakota go have success at the World Series.
Feeney chops one over towards third baseman Nygaard. Scoop glove delivered back over to Plemmel. There's 3 down. 1 run has scored for Bismarck. However, they lead 8-0 at the end of 3.5 played. When we come back, the Vistas return back to the plate. Summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
One run on 1 hit for the Governors. Their at-bat of the fourth inning brings up the Vistas. Here in the bottom half of the fourth, Nick Colberg and Andy Latch for the call on the PSP Network. Don't forget to head to the PSP Network Facebook page. PSP Network is the home for the top games and best competition in Western North Dakota. Follow us on Facebook and make sure to follow us on Twitter as well. That's Network PSP on Twitter to stay up to date. We're going to be covering all Minot High Magicians and Magents athletics this year, from football, basketball, baseball, hockey, boys and girls, you name it. PSP Network, happy to be here covering summer baseball with the Governors and Vistas today, and it's been all Governors in this one. They lead 8-0 at the end of 3.5 innings complete. Vistas will lead things off with Chase Burke, their number 2 batter, the center fielder, 0 for 1 here tonight. Derek Nygaard's the only one with a hit so far registered in the ball game. As Chase Burke comes to bat to lead things off against Feeney. Here's the windup of the pitch. More heat on it, right down center of the plate. Strike 1. Here's the windup of the pitch from Feeney. This one chopped over to third. Hits the glove. Burke's going to be on for a single. Will an error be charged to the third baseman there? Pegors. We'll wait and see your thoughts on that play.
That's a tough play. it looks like they're going with hit on the scoreboard. It's one of those where it's in between hop. It's really the only chance he had. If he sits back on it, he's not going to throw Burke out. So he had to take a shot at that tough short hop, and I think a hit is the right call.
Here's the windup in the pitch from Feeney inside. Ball 1-1 the count. Well, Chase Burke has certainly been a bright spot for the Vistas here in 2020. Player that's done some damage on the offensive side for the Vistas. Coming in for a closing position and relief at times. Burke's going to look to steal second. Here's the throwdown. Burke slides in safely, toes on the bag, and Chase Burke adds a steal to his resume here tonight.
Yeah, it looked like Chase got a pretty good jump. As a former catcher, all stolen bases are typically off the pitcher. It's not because of the catcher. It's a pitcher being slow to the plate, slow delivery, and Chase got a good jump, and he runs well, and it was a fun baseball play.
Crew Walker is the one behind the plate, catching for Feeney here tonight. He's got an arm on him. Swing and a miss. Ball's going to be dropped. There's going to be a conversation here. They run it out over to first base, but it was in the glove of Walker, so the unnecessary sprint to first base there for the Vistas' Derek Nygaard. Another strikeout here for Feeney brings up Jack Plemmel. Well, Jack's a player that's got home run power. He doesn't have any on the year so far. 397 at the dish. He's going to put that one towards the gap. Finds its way through. Chase Burke around third. Plemmel's got an RBI tonight. The Vistas are on the board. It's 8-1 as Jack Plemmel finds the gap.
That's what the Vistas have to keep doing. Chase got himself on base, and stolen base. They're putting more pressure on Feeney now, and it seems like if you can put more pressure on that pitcher and force them to make better pitches, it's just more difficult. And it's exactly what they did, and if they can continue to do that here for a couple innings, might have a shot at the end.
0-1 the count. Here to the designated hitter, Dylan Vangested. That one down and away. Nice job from Crew Walker. Walks the plate nicely, gets down and makes the stop. Jack Plemmel at first. One down. 2 hits here, the bottom half of the 4th inning. Fastball in on Vangested, strike 2, 1-2 the count. Vangested on to play at Minot State University after his time here in high school age, after ages out of the high school ranks. Battled some injuries this year for the Vistas, a lower body injury that brewed back up. Glad to see him back in the lineup. That one got away from Walker almost, but he was down in the dirt to make the stop. Another nice play from the catcher here for the Governors, 2-2 the count. Vegas did one of those character guys, one of the morale guys on the bench. Here's the windup of the pitch. That one fouled back. That would have came right up here to us. Look on.
I think we would have had it.
2-2. Cade Feeney's given up 3 hits now in the ball game. Vistas have a run on the board. There's a swing and a miss. Mark another K as Vangested will go down swinging.
Yeah, that might have. It almost looked to me like Dylan was guessing curveball slider there and didn't get it and just started to swing and had to go after that high fastball.
Kersey Harris steps in, wide up in the pitch, swung on, strike 1. Kersey 0 for 1 here tonight. With only 1 run scored and 3 hits, the Vistas haven't got around the order many times. Harris, the third baseman, second at bat here tonight. There's a train at legendary Corbett Field. Isn't this ballpark just beautiful? One of the legendary ones in North Dakota. High and away, ball 1-1-2.
Yeah, as Mike Littler would say, the old-time groundskeeper here at Corbett Field, it's one of the best places on earth.
Hard to disagree with them in a way to spend a Thursday night in the summer in North Dakota. Train's loud tonight, by the way. Feeney's outside 2-2. Yeah, after they put the turf in after the flood in 2011 and the rebuilding of legendary Corbett Field. I should say that came after the flood and everything that had happened after that. The turf is great, but that fresh cut grass here at legendary Corbett Field was something else. Plemmel's going to run over to second base as the ball got away from the first baseman, Connor Hansen. And Jack Plemmel advances over to second on the stolen base.
Yeah, good job of Jack there to stay aggressive. The ball squirted away just a little bit. He didn't hesitate. He turned and he went. Ouch.
Thought that one went right off of the elbow there of Kersey Harris, but it apparently did not hit the bat.
Must have hit the butt of the bat. I thought it hit his elbow as well, but he certainly didn't react like a 90-mile fastball hit him in the elbow.
Count is full. Feeney takes a look at Plemmel. Swung on and a miss. Strike three, and Feeney strikes out another. Vistas get one run on 2 hits, however. We've got an 8-1 ball game after 4 innings complete. Governors come back to bat. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
Once again, a huge thank you to all those sponsors that make summer baseball possible here on the PSP Network, including our good friends at Diamond T Ranch. Visit them online at diamondtranchnD.com. Also, a big thank you to our friends at Planet Pizza, the Muellers, proud supporters of everything here at legendary Corbett Field, area's largest laser tag playground. Got the best pizza in town as well. I feel confident in saying that. They've been around for 20 years as a local pizza shop. That doesn't always happen. Planet Pizza, 701-852-1700. If you're looking for something new, they're trying the stuffed breadsticks. Gosh, that stuff is good. It's so good.
Blue Buffalo?
I love the Blue Buffalo. Absolutely. Blue Buffalo is good. It's all good. Pepperoni. You know what we did the other day? Pepperoni with onion and pineapple on it. It was just fantastic.
Can't eat pineapple on pizza. It's not allowed.
Well, Planet Pizza's out of this world, so you get to do whatever you want there, pretty much, is the way I look at that.
Good point. Good point.
I don't even know what that means. 8-1, Governors on top of the Vistas here as the windup of the pitch comes from Caleb Bragg. In for a strike one. This is Crew Walker, by the way, the catcher that's at bat. 1 for 2 with a single here tonight.
I like both these catchers in this game. They both play pretty good defense. They both throw it pretty well. I like the way they hit.
That ball's going to be smashed down towards Burke. Burke waiting for it patiently out in center field, and out number 1 is in the books here for the top half of the 5th. Skylar Riediger comes up next. Turf or the grass? What do you prefer, Andy? I know you grew up on the grass here at legendary Corbett Field. Mike Littler would probably say that he preferred the grass, the groundskeeper here for many of those years. Your thoughts on it?
Well, believe it or not, I never played on turf. So, you know, as far as a player goes, I can't really say. It sure seems like as a catcher to get a true hop off the turf below you would be a real good thing for blocking baseballs and whatnot. There's just something about dirt sticking to your pants that is baseball to me.
Yes.
But from a scheduling standpoint and in the position I am now, you can't beat turf. You don't. I mean, there's really, aside from lightning, there's not a whole lot that's going to take your game away. So
Connor Wycombe, second single of the ball game. Fielder's choice is first at bat and a pair of singles hits. Yeah, the beauty of the turf here at legendary Corbett Field has become that within about 25 minutes after the rainstorm, you can get back to action here at legendary Corbett Field. And like you just said, Andy, anytime you've got that situation, that definitely makes things easier. Bach was called on Caleb Ring, so the runner advances here for the Governors. Isaac Pigor. And another Bach here on Caleb Ring. Is that what that was?
That one was. I didn't see the first one. It looked like this one. A lot of times with the runner on second, they'll use a sequence of signs from catcher to pitcher. And sometimes the pitcher forgets, and it ends up that they just kind of start up into the stretch before they're supposed to, and kind of hesitate and flinch a little bit. So that looks like that's what happened there.
Speaking of stretch, that was Jack Plummel almost into the splits after Nygaard tossed it over from third, and the Vistas get out with any damage without any damage in the top half of the fifth. 8-1, Governors still on top. Vistas are up next at summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Well, the Vistas get out of a jam in the top half of the fifth inning. 0 runs and 1 hit for Bismarck in the top half of the fifth. Vistas come to bat now here in the bottom half of the fifth with 3 more at-bats if they want a chance to come back in this ball game. The only hope, my mind, is the gas level of Feeney running out here in this ball game. The way he's pitched, it's going to be hard to muster up 7, but as you mentioned, you just chip in at each and every inning. That's the message.
That's got to be the message. I would think that Coach Pat is telling the kids now, look for that fastball. He hasn't thrown but a handful of breaking balls, and I think that's got to be the key, is just hit that fastball and get it early.
Logan Merck at bat falls the first one away, 0-1. Well, Merck's done a nice job at second base for the Vistas on the year. Defensively, he's been good. He's going to foul this one right back over towards the shortstop, and an easy one there for the Governors. 1 up, 1 down as Merck is retired.
Nashville, Tennessee's on the air tonight. Michael Holman, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, is tuned in tonight. Former player. Keeping up with the Vista game.
His brother's behind the dish tonight.
Yeah.
Jacob Holman, well, thanks for tuning in. Tuning in from all over the place on the PSP Network. We thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Network PSP. Follow us on Facebook as well to stay up to date with all the action from athletics from around the Magic City. Fun to see some of those former alums and former players of all these sports that check in and like to stay up to date with how things are going. Fun to see some of those faces around the ball field again here tonight. 2-1 down the count as that one got away. Feeney sailed it high past Crew Walker. 2-1. Yeah, Vistas baseball has been popular here on the PSP Network this summer. This ball is going to be smashed right back over towards the shortstop, Skylar Redinger. Just like a game of catch off the bat there. That will bring up Talon Hebert.
The next batter, the right fielder, number 9, Talon Hebert.
Hebert struck out his first at bat to the ball game. He's only been at the dish once tonight. He's going to foul the first one away right towards the Vistas bench.
No success this inning, but I like these 3 hitters getting up here at the bottom of the order. They've all seen fastball the first pitch, and they've been very aggressive after the fastball, and I think that's where you need to be right now. You got to try and get your barrel to it and get something going here for the 3rd time around the order.
This ball's going to be fouled back Wait for the crashing sound of somebody's windshield. Didn't happen. 0-2
It's the only bad part about this field, this park.
is the parking situation.
Yeah.
Wind up in the pitch. Struck him out. Feeney's got another K in the books. 3 up and 3 down for the Vistas. Still 8-1. Governors, top half of the 6th when we return. Summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
Game number 1 of 2 here tonight. Doubleheader on tap here on the PSP Network. Proudly brought to you by Planet Pizza and 701 Realty. Also our good friends at Minot's Finest Collision Center. They ensure proper procedures are followed to repair your vehicle so safety features are maintained to keep you and your family safe. More than an auto body repair shop. They are Minot's Finest. 839-0989. The place to call when that ball does go through your windshield.
And some of the best commercials on TV.
Yes, those really are. Absolutely they are. I was in on filming the one where the owner of the store, Corey Almy, was dressed up like a Toros hockey player, and he took the hit. That's
a good one.
I thought that one was almost award-winning. That was fantastic. The acting and everything involved in it. That was one of my favorites. I thought that was great. Ben Pat, the left fielder, batting in the 9 spot tonight. RBI his first at bat. That was an RBI double. He was on his second at bat and ended up scoring. Started off with a single. 1-0 the count. Strike 1, 1-1. On the American flag straightaway center field here tonight. It looked pretty much the same way this entire ball game. That wind has been howling, might not be the word for North Dakota weather, but it's been blowing tonight. Jack Plemmel on first.
Yeah, it looks like right field corner to left field corner maybe. You hit a ball hard to the gap. I think it might help it a little bit towards left field. Hit a ball hard towards right field, it's probably going to knock it down. So this field plays that way sometimes.
Back to the top of the order with Colton Schulte. 2 for 3 tonight with a pair of singles. This ball smashed over to left. Another play made there by Talon Hebert. He slides in, feet first, gloves the baseball, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, my vision isn't as good as it used to be, and we're kind of way up here, but it almost played, Talon almost played that like it might have been a knuckleball. It kind of looks like it maybe dove on him at the end, and he had to kind of slide down to a knee, but good catch, good job staying with it.
Nick Hidd's the second baseman. RBI, a bunt, and a steal here tonight. 0-1. Sent over to Merck. Glove, scoop, delivered. 3 up, 3 down. The Vistas defense has been good. 2 innings in a row. No runs on no hits. The top half of the 6th. Let's go to the bottom half. Vistas are up next in summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
Vistas in the top half of the 6th inning. Cleanup for the leadoff hitter, left fielder number 21, Hunter Ruziska.
There you hear the legendary voice of Scotty Cattell on the PA system here at legendary Corbett Field. Ruziska is at the plate for the Vistas.
Third time through the order here. See if we can't maybe get to this guy a little bit.
Ruziska fouls that one away, 0-2. Yeah, Scotty and I had plans to head to Bismarck last week for the matchup on Tuesday against the Governors. Game was rained out. Maybe that was the week before. Game was postponed and it was rescheduled. It was played 9-1. The Governors got the best of the Vistas on July 2nd. Ruziska sits down looking at another K for Feeney.
The next batter, the center
Chase
fielder,
Burke comes up
number 3,
next.
Chase Burke.
I was not able to make my way to that ball game. I was up at Lake Metagoshi enjoying the 4th of July celebration at the lake. Here's the windup of the pitch. Burke's going to put some mustard on that one. Out towards left center. It's going to bounce. Hits the warning track. Burke is going to hold the horses at second. And Chase Burke has his second hit of the ball game. That one's a double, and that was a howitzer.
Yeah, that was a high fastball. Looked to be, middle of the plate, maybe in a little bit, and Chase was right on it, and maybe a few feet short of the wall there on the warning track. It was a very good swing.
Strike one delivered to Derek Nygaard.
What part of the pyramid of the Skeena-Teeks were you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would have been about as scared as that as driving that race car. This ball's going to be chopped over to third. Look back over towards Burke at second. Then it's going to be delivered. Nygaard retired. Had some family on the boat with me. We got towards that Skeena-Teek ramp, a bunch of kids. I said, you guys want to hit this thing or what? Two of them in the back started crying on the boat. I said, geez, I'm just kidding. There's no way we're taking the bait ladder off of this. I'm only joking. Lake is busy that time of the year. Plemel's going to find the gap over. Left again. Here comes the play at the plate. Not going to happen. Burke's across to score, and the Vistas find Chase Burke at home again. He comes around for the second time in the ball game, and the Vistas muster up another run, 8-2.
Yeah, good job of hitting by Jack. He must have been paying attention to a couple guys in front of him because he got an early pitch on the outer half of the plate and just went that way and single to right field. And most of the time, a single is going to score Berkey from second.
Pair of singles tonight for Jack Plemel. Pair of RBI singles tonight for Plemel. Only going to improve those numbers that he has. Is at the top of the list of batting average at .397. Nice senior year here for Plemel of Vistas baseball. Just graduated from Minot High. The Minot High Magicians hockey team will miss him next year as well. Vegasted takes strike two, 1-2 the count with two down.
You can see Vicky just kind of shaking his head. Cade's put two fastballs on the black and maybe his best two pitches of the night, honestly.
1-2 the count. Struck him out, and Vegasted sits down for the second straight time. That time he got caught looking. Vistas muster up.
Vistas in the bottom half of the sixth inning. One run on two hits. There was no
two hits.
One man left on base.
Muster up a run as well, 8-2. They still trail in this one. Final inning is next here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vibeto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
Well, Cade Feeney going the distance tonight for the Governors. Vistas have found a way to muster up 5 hits in the ball game. Tonight they've got 2 runs now. They trail by 6 and look for 3 up, 3 down. As the Governors will bring to bat Connor Hanson, their first baseman. Here in the top half of the 7th.
Yeah, Caleb has done a really good job on the hill. You know, we talked earlier about that bullpen guy. He's given them just what they want. 1 run through 3 innings so far, and scattered some hits, but you know, has really given the offense the opportunity to come back and do something here. We'll see if he can keep it up this inning.
Strike number 1 delivered inside to Connor Hanson. There's action in the Bismarck bullpen. Jackson Euler, 5'11", right-hander, warming up in the bullpen for the Governors.
I'm not familiar enough with Bismarck to know if this is just some bullpen work or if this is warming up to get hot to go in the game here. I don't know if, you know, I don't think Feeney's pitch count is real high, but sometimes you know.
Chopper back for the 1-3 put out there as Ring had no trouble getting it off to Plemmel, 1 down.
You know, Cade has only thrown 17 innings coming in, so 50, 60, 70 on a pitch count is probably as much as he's gone this year, and he's kind of a high strikeout guy, so he could be up there as far as number of pitches at this point.
Cade Feeney at bat now here for the Governors. Well, Feeney on the year batting .469. 30 hits. He leads the team in home runs. He's gone yard 4 times. He's going to push that one up right in front of the Vistas bench. Here's Jack Plemmel. Calls off McCarty, and Plemmel gloves it for the second down of the ball game. Here in the top half of the 7th, 2 away.
Very nice play coming into foul territory there. You know, kind of a unique dugout situation here at Corbett Field. He kind of made the play where the normal dugout would be, you know, at a normal field, and called off McCarty right at the end and made a nice play.
Crew Walker's got his second single of the ball game as he went up the middle past Merck. That will bring up Skylar Redinger. He's got 2 RBIs tonight. 1 single and a triple. Fly down his last at bat. 2 down, top half of the 7th inning. That one just missed ball 1. The reconstruction of Corbett Field, when the turf was put in, did we lose some space behind home plate, or did we gain some space?
Home plate was moved back about 10 feet. So before the turf, dead center was 400, and
right back up the middle, by the way. Skylar Redinger on for a single. The runners advance. Runners on first and second now as Connor Wycombe, the center fielder, comes to bat.
So yeah, it came back about 10 feet. So, you know, added 6 feet down the lines, and I think 6 feet in the power alleys and 10 to dead center. So a little cozier, little closer to the plate here watching the game, and dugouts are a little bit closer, and which I think was a good move. I think it needed to happen. You know, it wasn't uncommon at times for the ball to bounce around behind the catcher a little bit, and for guys to get 2 bases on a pass ball, and so it was a good move, I think.
Outside for ball number 1, 1-1. Yeah, if your catcher wasn't on point anytime you were visiting legendary Corbett Field, or if you were the Vistas, it you had somebody behind the dish that wasn't quite capable, you could be in trouble for a long, long season in that situation. Strike 2, 1-2 the count now as Caleb Ring ahead in the count. You have a best memory from legendary Corbett Field from your time playing here, Andy? Ball driven hard over to right field. Will there be a play? The ball's going to be delivered in. Bases are
Close.
juiced. Almost got him over at third.
Yeah, I do.
A real good one that stands out to you?
It's one of my last doubleheaders I ever played here at Corbett Field as a Vista. I hit a 3-run home run up into the trees in left center field to win the game in the bottom of the 7th off of who has become a buddy through baseball of mine now. But we were playing Fargo, and I think we were down 6-4, and we ended up winning 7-6. So that was a fun one.
That one would stand off the paper. Isaac Pegor comes up, third baseman. 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight, but he's got the bases loaded. Bismarck up 8-2 with 2 out. Top half of the 7th, in for a strike, 1-1. Caleb Ring trying to get out of a jam here in a big way. Takes the call from McCarty, the delivery inside. Ball 2, 2-1. No feeling greater than going yard in a walk-off situation. I would have to assume. I've only done it on Xbox.
It's still pretty cool on Xbox too.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-1 the count.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Here's the delivery, and Ring's going to walk him around. Merry-go-round is on, and it's 9-2.
Baseball is a pretty individualized team sport, we'll say, and it's fun to come to home plate and experience that with your teammates.
Here's the windup of the pitch. Had some movement on it here to Ben Patton, the left fielder. He's had a good night offensively here for Bismarck. RBI double. He's got a single in the ball game. 2 for 3 tonight. There's strike 1, 1-1. Ring trying to get out of the jam. Vistas trying to see if they can't rally in the bottom half of the 7th, but they need one more out. There goes strike number 2 as that ball fouled away over the grill here at Corbett Field. Good crowd on hand here tonight for summer baseball. Not a bad crowd by any means. Beautiful night. Just a bit breezy here at legendary Corbett Field. Here's the windup of the pitch outside, 2-2.
I don't think it's quite a sellout, but it's pretty close, probably.
Over time, it's been interesting to see. I graduated high school in 2004. So I'll be 35 here in about 10 days. Here's the windup of the pitch. This one's going to be chopped out to center, over to right, I should say. And Talon Ebert picks up the third out to the top half of the 7th, and the Vistas get out of a jam there, and 3 runners stranded. Some damage was done. Again, 1 run was scored off of a couple hits at the end of 6.5 played. 9-2 Bismarck on top at summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line. One hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Well, the Vistas have one more chance here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They need to muster up at least 7 to tie the ball game. They trail 9-2 as Jackson Euler comes into the ball game here for the Governors. He'll be on the hill after Cade Feeney went 6 innings here in this ball game. Feeney allowed 2 runs on 5 hits here tonight. Nice outing for Kane Feeney without a doubt. So Jackson Euler comes in. Euler is going to try to get it done here tonight. 1 save on the year. Sitting on an ERA of 6.75. Coming in 9 and 1/3 inning pitched. Well, if nothing else, the Vistas have a little bit of a change in scenery of who they're going to face here. That might be the confidence they need, as Feeney definitely brings some heat. First one to see Euler for the Vistas is Kersey Harris, the third baseman.
Leading off for the Vistas in the bottom half of the 7th inning, number 6, the third baseman, Kersey Harris.
Yeah, the great thing about baseball is you're not up against the time clock. It's as long as you have one out with a bat in your hand, you got a chance.
Euler's first pitch, he's got some heat on it as well. That one away for a ball. Before we went to the break in between the top and bottom half of the inning here, Andy, I started to tell you that it just seemed like back in the day that crowds for high school events and baseball games like this, they just seemed to be a little bit fuller at that time. Talk about that quite a bit with the high school hockey scene. This ball's going to be hit hard over towards the third baseman, but gloved by Igor, and he fires it over, one down.
Yeah, nice play there, moving to the glove side, and a lot of times at this point in the game, you're kind of playing a no doubles type of defense. You're kind of hugging that line a little bit, so he had a little bit further way to go, and nice play, pretty smooth over there at third base.
Logan Merck steps in. Here's the windup from Euler, the pitch. Ball one. Did you feel like your Vistas days had bigger crowds than this? Or is it par for the course? Down and away, ball 2.
You know, this I don't know. It seems to kind of go year by year. It depends on a lot of times it depends on the players and who you're playing, and you know, some teams have brought in bigger crowds than others, just their group of friends and their family, and just different support angles and channels, and
ball's going to be hit hard by Logan Merck, but over to the right fielder and glove there by Ben Patton. Left fielder Ben Patton, excuse me. Two up, two down. That brings up Braden McCarty. Yeah, we got a chuckle out of Mike Skitland in his 17th year as the head coach of the Governors. Told him I used to cover these games quite a bit. That was back in the Charlie Shurik, Andrew Goodmanson era. Back when the Vistas were real good back in the early 2000s. And I used to sit right down behind the Vistas dugout where it is right now and used to just heckle that opposing team like you wouldn't believe, with a gentleman by the name of Luke Domrys. Man, we had fun doing that. Each and every night, the stuff that guy would come up with was just remarkable. Here's the windup of the pitch. This one again chopped over. Pigor ends the ball game as he delivers to first. That's how it ends tonight. 9-2 is the final here in this one. Game number 2 comes up in just a moment. When we come back, Andy and I will put our finishing touches on game number 1 as the Vistas drop a conference matchup here tonight. Bismarck improves to 6-4. The Vistas fall now to 6-7. We'll come back with our post-game show in just a moment. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
9-2 is the final in game number 1. Tonight, the Bismarck Governors take one from the Vistas on their home field here at legendary Corbett Field. Nick Holberg alongside of Andy Latch as we put the finishing touches on game number 1 as the Vistas now fall to 8-12 on the year. 6-7 in conference play. 14-6 for the Bismarck Governors now on the season. They're now 6-4 inside the conference. They had 9 runs scored on 12 hits in game number 1 as the Vistas had 2 runs scored on 5 hits in game number 1. Cade Feeney was the winning pitcher. He went 6 innings. He gave up 5 hits and 2 runs earned. Jackson Euler came in and closed things out here for Bismarck, the Governors, in the bottom half of the 7th. Aiden Albee tagged with the loss here for the Vistas. He pitched 3 innings, 7 hits and 7 runs. Tallied his way. Caleb Ring came in and did the rest of the work here tonight. Andy, your thoughts on game number 1? It was kind of the Cade Feeney show on the hill.
Yeah, he's got that good live fastball, and he's aggressive. He comes in, he attacks that strike zone, and he's going to make you earn it. No walks, I don't think, 10 strikeouts. Did a lot of damage with the fastball early, and his offense supported him right away. And, a guy like him, if he gets, 7 runs in the first 3 frames, he's going to just attack the zone. And, you got to get up there and earn it back, and he's a tough one to get it off of, and he was good tonight.
Without a doubt. Game number 2 comes up around the corner. If you're the skipper, Pat Arnson, right now in the dugout for the Vistas, what's the message to the hometown team
Never
here?
get swept at home. Never get swept at home. You think about a schedule. If you can split on the road and you try and sweep people at home, but you can't get swept at home. You're trying to play, a 750. You try and sweep teams at home and split on the road, but now they got to prevent, the ultimate damage and try and get one out of these 2. Short memory, get back after it, try and get some runs early, and play hard.
Sure appreciate your time here tonight, joining us. Always welcome to come on board.
All right.
Join us on the PSP Network, no matter what the sport or situation. We'd love to have you, Andy. Thanks for coming on here tonight.
All right, thanks for having me.
That's Andy Latch, Executive Director, Magic City Youth Baseball. Joined us for game number 1. We'll see if we can talk him into sticking around for game number 2 here tonight. We'll come back with game number 2. About 20 minutes on from that. Bismarck takes game 1. They win 9-2. Game number 2 right around the corner. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
The 30-inch galactic pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot. The Scotch eggs at elevation start with a perfectly hard-boiled egg surrounded by chorizo, panko breading, and the signature tangy elevation sauce.
Don't worry, guys, we have more.
Try the Scotch eggs. You leave satisfied at elevation.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
The 30-inch galactic pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot. The Scotch eggs at elevation start with a perfectly hard-boiled egg surrounded by chorizo, panko breading, and the signature tangy elevation sauce.
Don't worry, guys, we have more.
Try the Scotch eggs. You leave satisfied at elevation.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vivetto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vivetto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot. The Scotch eggs at Elevation start with a perfectly hard-boiled egg surrounded by chorizo, panko breading, and the signature tangy Elevation sauce.
Don't worry, guys, we have more.
Try the Scotch eggs. You leave satisfied at Elevation.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vivetto Orthodontics, Homesteaders. Tires Plus.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot. The Scotch eggs at Elevation start with a perfectly hard-boiled egg surrounded by chorizo, panko breading, and the signature tangy Elevation sauce.
Don't worry, guys, we have more.
Try the Scotch eggs. You leave satisfied at Elevation.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
The 30-inch galactic pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot. The Scotch eggs at Elevation start with a perfectly hard-boiled egg surrounded by chorizo, panko breading, and the signature tangy Elevation sauce.
Don't worry, guys, we have more.
Try the Scotch eggs. You leave satisfied at Elevation.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line. One hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
The 30-inch galactic pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot. The Scotch eggs at Elevation start with a perfectly hard-boiled egg surrounded by chorizo, panko breading, and the signature tangy Elevation sauce.
Don't worry, guys, we have more.
Try the Scotch eggs. You leave satisfied at Elevation.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Time for game number 2 here tonight to this conference matchup with the Bismarck Governors and Minot Vistas here from legendary Corbett Field. Nick Colberg alongside of Andy Latch, the Executive Director of Magic City Youth Baseball for game number 2. After game number 1 belonged to the Bismarck Governors tonight, 9-2 was the final score in game number 1. Here in game number 2, you've got Eli Nissen on the hill, the 15-year-old for the Vistas, sitting on a 2-0 record, 2.79 ERA. He goes against Connor Hansen, 0-1 with a 5.25 ERA. Coming through the mid-portion of the season, Vistas at 8-12, 6-7 now in the conference, 14-6 for the Governors overall, 6-4 in the conference. And we'll get things started here with Colton Schulte, the right fielder, followed by Hines, Hansen, and Feeney. Bats cleanup. Here's the first pitch from Eli Nissen. High and away, ball number 1. 3 minutes shy of 7 o'clock here for the first pitch of game number 2. Temperature increasing, 71 degrees outside for ball number 2, 2-0. Eli Nissen's been fun to watch. Scott Cattell and I had the call of an outing of his down in Mandan where he had a perfect game going all the way through 6 innings. Anytime you've got a 15-year-old coming through the program, Andy, it's certainly something that draws some attention.
Yeah, I haven't seen Eli pitch much because he is so young, and heard a lot of great things. I know he works his butt off in the off season, as you know, like a lot of athletes do these days. But some of that work he's done, he throws a lot and puts a lot of time in, and it's definitely paying off.
Here's the windup of the pitch, 3-2. The count comes full now for the youngster Eli Nissen.
He doesn't seem to be scared of it. That's a big part as a 15-year-old. If you can get over the successes and failures that you're going to have at this level, that's a huge hurdle.
That ball was tattooed foul there by Schulte. We interviewed Eli Nissen after his stellar performance in Mandan, where he picked up his second win of the season, and we talked to him. He's very cool, calm, composed for a young man. This ball is going to be driven out towards Chase Burke in center, and the first out of the ball game is in the books as Eli Nissen has one up and one down here for the Vistas. Brings up the third baseman, Nick Hines.
Third baseman number 6, Nick Hines.
Yeah, that's kind of a cliche thing, Nick, to say calm, cool, and collected, but that really describes him well. That's just kind of his demeanor. It's how he is. And not just on the baseball field, but all over. Just doesn't seem to get too excited about much of anything. Pretty level. And, of course, we know as baseball people, you get 2 up or 2 down, and you're not going to do well in this game. So that's a good demeanor to have.
1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. 2-1. Here's the big left-handed batter. Stole a base in game number 1. He had an RBI. And going 2 for 4 in game number 1 that belonged to Bismarck by a score of 9-2. 2-2 the count. Here's the windup of the pitch from Nissen. Just missed the outside corner. Count comes full. Wind continues to blow at Corbett Field. This one's going to be sent out to right field. Talon Hebert there along with Logan Merck. And Merck, the second baseman, is going to make the play. And the Vistas see 2 up and 2 down, as that will bring to the plate Connor Hansen, who's on the hill in game number 2 here for the Bismarck Governors.
Bismarck, the pitcher, number 15, Connor Hansen.
Connor Hansen on the year. At the dish, batting .352. Outside for a ball, he's also a left-handed batter. Hansen, one of the better players in the Western Dakota Athletic Conference for high school hockey, a defenseman. He's going to go on to play college hockey at the University of Mary in his hometown after graduating from Century. A lot of people around Western North Dakota in the hockey world that aren't from Century glad to see Hansen off the radar. He was one of the best.
Several years ago, I coached against his brother Alex Hansen, who was a very nice shortstop at Williston, actually, before Mom and Dad moved to Bismarck.
Ball's going to be fouled away. Good at bat here from Hansen. 2-2 the count. Fans are at volume here for game number 2. So one of the knocks I've had on the Vistas this year, just doesn't seem like a whole lot of chatter always coming from that dugout. Certainly you need some stuff to cheer about, but seems like that's been one of those things for the Vistas here this year. Is Nissen delivers outside, ball 3, and the count is full again. Nissen takes the call. Morgan Nygaard behind the dish, by the way, here in game number 2. My first look at Morgan Nygaard here on the year. Nissen, a player that gets brought up from the Metros program. He hits for the Metros, outfields for the Metros, and then pitches for the Vistas. Is Nygaard the same situation in this situation here?
Yeah, I think some young kids being brought up, and I would think with the injury to Viggy and Chase Burke being kind of a mainstay in center field and not wanting to move him out, and it takes a good block there. It takes a pretty special dude to catch back-to-back games. It takes maybe like a Fred Nelson type of guy to be able to go back-to-back games like that. So, especially in the summer heat. So, did a great job there. So, nice to get a look at the youngster.
1-1 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Catcher is such an important role, as we all know, in this game of baseball. Quarterbacking from behind the dish. Freddie Nelson, one of the best to come through the program. This one outside. 3-1 the count. Well, Nissen behind the count with 2 down. Runner on first base. It's Connor Hansen at first.
Good pitch.
Count comes full here to Cade Feeney.
Maybe a little nerves for the youngster. You know, he's gone full count to a few hitters now, and home field against the Bismarck Governors. That's a big start for a young kid, and maybe working out a few nerves here and see if he can't shut down this little rally here.
Well, when you're facing Cade Feeney, I don't mean to sound like a broken record here, but .469 for batting average. His numbers at Century have been good enough. And it's summer ball to be recruited by North Dakota State University. Anytime you're going to play for the Bison or the Fighting Hawks, you know that there's something special about you. And as a 15-year-old kid going against a man like Feeney, there's definitely going to be some emotions, but we talk about that composure and poise from the young man, Eli Nissen. He has that same conversation now with Pat Arnston, the head coach of the Vistas.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Pat maybe was seeing the same thing that we were just talking about. Maybe just went out, slow him down a little bit, and give him a little time to just compose himself. And
outside for ball 1. Here's the windup of the pitch. That one paints the corner, 1-1. Mo Crew Walker, he went 2 for 4 in game number 1. He had a pair of singles in the first game. He came across to score twice as well. Hit the corner again, and ahead in the count, 1-2. One more strike will end the inning in the top half here for the Vistas. Nissen shook off the call from Nygaard. Chase Lee, the home plate umpire, steps out. Everybody comes set again. Here's the delivery from the youngster. It's going to be chopped over towards the second baseman. Here's the play over to first. Just missed there on the throw over to Plemmel. That was hummed over there from the Vistas, Kersey Harris.
yeah, kind of a outside pitch, chopper, tough luck hit given up there. Kersey really had to go deep to the 5-6 hole to get that and wait for a hop, and just couldn't get back to make a strong enough throw to get the runner at first, and that loads the bases for the Govs.
Just missed the quarter. 1-0. By the way, if you're buying or selling a home, let 701 Realty's Andrew McKenna to make your experience a positive one. Give them a call today or visit them online at 701realty.com. Well, Eli Nissen parked that one at home. 1-1 now the count. This is Riedinger, the shortstop. That bat to the corner, painted again with the bases loaded. One and two the count. This one's going to be fouled back. Fouled over our heads here at legendary Corbett Field. Nissen's delivery, that one outside, 2-2. Sun's starting to shine right on the right-handed batter's box here for the Bismarck Governors in this top half for the first inning. Ball's going to be chopped over towards Plemmel, trying to get a glove on it. And he does.
Good job by the young guy working out of that.
3 runners left on base. No runs on no hits. At the end of one half an inning played, it's the Vistas and Governors tied up 0-0 just where we started. Vistas come to bat for the first time in the game number 2 coming up when we return at summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vibeto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
Well, we get our first look at Connor Hansen here in game number 2. He's on the hill warming up. Here for the Bismarck Governors, Hansen will be pitching to Crew Walker, who caught in game number 1. Hansen on the year, sitting on an 0-1 record with a 5.25 ERA.
Your battery for Bismarck.
No runs, no hits in the first. At bat for the Governors. Vistas have their first chance at the plate. Hunter Ruziska, Chase Burke, Derek Nygaard, and Jack Plebble 1 through 4, followed by Dylan Vegestead batting 5th. Kersey Harris, the third baseman, bats 6th. Logan Burke playing second base, he'll bat 7th. Morgan Nygaard, the young catcher, bat 8th. Talon Hebert, the right fielder, will bat in the 9th spot. As the Vistas looking to muster up more than 2 runs, that's what they scored in game number 1 of this 2-game set tonight, worth conference points. Vistas just got down with a trip down to South Dakota. They ended up with 2 wins and a loss. Down to Pierre. Handed it to Sioux Falls and then ended up splitting with Pierre on their swing after the 4th of July. Ruziska, the left fielder. Steps in Connor Hansen. The delivery hit the corner, strike 1. Ruziska went 0 in game number 1. He's going to sky that one up straight over towards the first baseman. Might be trouble. Nope, Connor Hansen's got it, gloved it, 1 down.
It's probably a good thing that Hansen was willing to go catch that thing, because it looked like the first baseman was playing peekaboo with the baseball and the base runner, and it would have been a tough time for him to make that play with Ruziska kind of making his way down the line. It looked like he was kind of uncomfortable about that.
Brings up Chase Burke. Pair of hits in the first game. He was the gentleman that came around to score both of the Vistas runs in game number 1. Single and a double. 2-1 the count to Chase Burke. It's been good for the Vistas on the year. Here's the windup of the pitch. That one 3-1. Now the count, missed outside on the corner. Batting .318 on the year is Chase Burke. Been at bat 66 times. He finds himself over at first base, and Chase Burke, for the 13th time of the year, is walked. Brings up Derek Nygaard, the shortstop. 1 down, bottom half of the first inning here from legendary Corbett Field, as the beautiful North Dakota summer night continues to be upon us. Had some weather the other night. My daughter's trampoline, ended up across the yard about 5 feet from where it started. Ball 2.
Trampolines don't like the wind.
No, they don't.
Still living on a golf course?
Yes, I am. Absolutely. Here's the windup of the pitch. Swung on, he missed. You'll have to come out and play Big Country Link sometime. We have great time out there. You bring your pitching wedge. I live out south of Minot, by the way, and I think our longest hole on the 9-hole Big Country Links is about 65 yards. This one might find the gap out in center. No, it's not. It's going to find itself into the glove of Connor Wycombe. 2 down for the Vistas. So Nygaard can't convert, so we see Jack Plemmel, the first baseman. Chase Burke over at first on the walk. Ruziska was retired, so was Nygaard, so it brings up the cleanup batter, Jack Plemmel. Hansen comes set.
I would expect Chase to try and run and get in scoring position at some point here. A little bit tougher with the lefty on the hill, but I would guess he may just go first move and take a shot at it.
That one's outside for ball number 1.
Hansen's done a good job of mixing up. He goes, higher kick, slide step, little pause in there, so he's kind of tough to get a jump on, but
Plemmel had a pair of RBIs in game number 1. See Chase Burke flirt with it over at first base. 1-2 the count. So we've got these 5-gallon pails, flags out there. It's the real deal. I use the mower, cut that lawn perfectly out there. Big Country Lakes is the real deal, and there's no greens fees either. This one's sent over to the second baseman, and inning number 1 comes to a close at the end of 1 inning played. Bismarck 0 to the Vistas. Not on the board either. Let's go to the top half of the second in summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Minot Vistas return home tomorrow to take on Dickinson tomorrow. A 9-inning game tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock tomorrow. We will not have coverage on the PSP Network tomorrow night. Once again, we will not have coverage here on the PSP Network. Some prior commitments. Will be DJing a wedding tomorrow night. Hope the bride and groom like Nickelback, by the way. We get plenty of that tomorrow. Well, Eli Nissen found himself in a jam and a big one. The bases were juiced. Top half of the first, the youngster found a way to get out of it.
A big thing, Nick, in baseball is, in the last 10 years or so especially, is the old walkout song. So, marinate on a walkout song for a little bit. What do you think would be your...
What would be my walkout song?
Yeah.
Ooh, great question. This had missed the corner. Well, let's start with this. What was yours back in the day?
They're too new.
They're too new. You didn't have one back then.
No.
This ball's going to be fouled back. Oh, there's so many that come to mind. So many good ones. I think that... I would feel like I would need one for every inning. Here's the windup and the pitch. Ball had some movement on it, but it's ball 2-2-1. Ted Nugent stranglehold maybe would be good. You got to get it where it drops, though. You got to get it where it starts to really bang a little bit. Here's the windup and the pitch. Strike 2 from Nissen. Scotty K, have you thought about that more? What your walk-up song would be?
Hey, back in our day, we just went out and played the game. We didn't need walk-up songs.
We didn't need walk-up songs, Scotty says. Told you down in Bismarck, Sharp Dressed Man might be a good one for you. ZZ Top. 2-2 the count. Outside. Ball 3.
I don't know. I've thought a lot about my walk-up song, and Chipper Jones had a pretty cool one. The Crazy Train and Ozzy.
Ball was bombed out to Callan Hebert. 1 down.
Several years ago, though, I was at National Stadium, and I don't know if you remember Jason Worth. Big right fielder for the Nationals, long hair, big beard, and it was almost like Wild Thing with the Indians, because his walkout song, I couldn't even tell you what it was, but I just remember like the whole crowd had this routine that they did, and they all played along, and it was one of the coolest things ever. And he didn't even do anything. He just walked to the plate. And it was really cool.
Jack Johnson falls that one back 0-2. Cool enough to have it stick with you. And that's the unique part about it. That extra atmosphere. Morgan Nygaard drops it. He's going to toss it to Plemmel. No problem there. Second one down. Jack Johnson retired.
I mean, Jack Johnson, I would think, bubbly toes, right?
Yeah.
For Jack Johnson.
I don't know if he would want to go that route or not. This one delivers that one inside, away from Ben Patton. Danzig Mother, you ever heard that song?
Yes.
There was somebody from the Twins that used to have that as their walk-up song. I'm trying to remember who it was. That song's awesome. That's a good one. 1-1. I don't know if I'd pick that one though. Strike 2, 1-2. Patton, the left fielder, reached for that one and just got it by him. Heading the count is the youngster. Here's the windup of the pitch. Outside, 2-2. This ball's going to be chopped over to the third baseman, Kersey Harris. Sent it over to Plemmel across the diamond. 3 up, 3 down. The Vistas have the defense rolling in game number 2. At the end of an inning and a half, no runs on no hits, scoreless ball game. Vistas return to the plate when we come back at Summer Baseball on the PSP Network.
The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag at Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot. The Scotch eggs at Elevation start with a perfectly hard-boiled egg surrounded by chorizo, panko breading, and the signature tangy Elevation sauce.
Don't worry, guys, we have more.
Try the Scotch eggs. You leave satisfied at Elevation.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus.
Bottom half of the second inning, Dylan Vegasted up for the Minot Vistas. He's in the DH role here tonight. Here's the windup of the pitch. Hansen delivers outside, ball number 1. Neither team registering a hit yet in the ball game. Hansen delivers in for ball number 2. I think I would probably go with Biggie Smalls, Hypnotize. That's probably where I would land for a walk-up song. I feel like that would fit me. Either that or Nickelback, Burn It to the Ground. Here's the windup of the pitch outside, and Vigasted's going to find his way over to first base. He's walked. Such a hard choice.
Third baseman Kersey Harris.
It is. Infinite possibilities.
Infinite possibilities. We could talk about it all night. Here's the windup of the pitch. This one sent right back over. A little blooper to the second baseman. Double play ball, tailor-made. Vigasted had to get down on that one.
Yeah, it was kind of an in-between liner there. Viggy did a really good thing because he kind of had to pause to make sure that Cade Feeney wasn't going to catch it in the air and double him off. Just kind of give himself up at that out at second. And tough spot for a base runner there.
Brings up Logan Burke, the second baseman. Didn't have the best outing in game number 1. He went 0 for 3 in the ball game in the first one. He only got around 3 times in game number 1 to the Vistas. Here's the windup. Lee says that one caught the corner, 1-1. Did you find yours yet? Outside. Ball number 2. Hansen takes the call. Here's the delivery. That one fouled back by Merck. 2-2.
Be like Casey and the Sunshine Band. Something like that.
I can see it. Just walk up and just knock one right out of the park. 3:16 after on the left field line after a little Casey and the Sunshine Band. Ball's going to be hit over towards the second base, but Feeney makes the play over to first and another fielder's choice. will bring up Morgan Nygaard, the catcher.
The next batter, the catcher, number 19, Morgan Nygaard.
Well, here's Morgan Nygaard.
Is this, according to your statistics, is this first official at bat ever for the youngster at the Vista level?
According to what I have, yes, it is. He's a Minot High graduate coming up in 2023. So he's got a few years to go. Seeing some action here for the Vistas here tonight. Behind the dish as well. Delivery from Hansen outside. Ball one. First action for Morgan Nygaard. Yes, it is. According to what I have in front of me. Hansen missed again, 2-1. Two down, bottom half of the second inning. Connor Hansen on the hill for Bismarck. Takes a look. Checks the runner down, delivers. Morgan Nygaard's going to blast one out to center field. And on the retrieve for the Governors was Connor Wynkoop. No runs, no hits. Both teams in this ball game. 0-0 the score. Let's go to the third inning. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line. One hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
0-0 ball game here at legendary Corbett Field. Vistas and Bismarck Governors in game number 2. Here of this 2-game set tonight at Corbett Field after game number 1 belonged to the Governors. 9-2 is the final score in game number 1. 9 runs on 12 hits in game 1, 2 runs on 5 hits for the Vistas. 9-12 for the Governors in the first game here tonight. Nick Holberg and Andy Latch. They're from legendary Corbett Field. Thank you for joining us tonight. We also want to thank our good friends at Diamond T Ranch, the proud supporters of Minot Vistas baseball. Diamond T Ranch is home to premier Hereford cattle just south of the Magic City. Check this out. They're 2 former state champions for the Vistas, John and Luke Erickson from Diamond T Ranch, wishing all the competitors this year the best of luck. Visit DiamondTRanchND.com. Andy, I'll ask you this trivia question. Scott Cattell got it right the last time I asked him this. 2004 was the year. 2005, from 2003 to 2005, actually. Pitcher Luke Erickson from Diamond T Ranch. What color was his glove? Here's the windup of the pitch. That one delivered inside to Colton Schulte, back to the top of the order.
I should know this because I coached that team.
Here's the windup of the pitch. That one's going to be driven up the right field line, but foul.
I believe it was red.
It was red.
Yeah.
It was red. He, along with Casey Deutsch, Ryan Bodell, Tyler Lundy, Goodmanson, and Shurik. Forgive me if I missed anyone. Talk about a pitching staff that was. I know I bring this up a lot, but that was one of the best Vistas baseball teams in the history of the program. This ball is going to be sent down towards Chase Burke. He's on his horse. Oh, he made a play out in center, but it fell out of the glove. And Schulte's going to find his way over to first for the first hit to the ball game, and Chase Burke almost made a Golden Glove style play out there at center. Excellent effort nevertheless.
Yeah, great effort play. Looked like he got a good jump on it. The wind maybe knocked it down a little bit. Looked like he maybe had it in his glove and just couldn't hold on as he hit the ground.
Brings up Nick Hids, his second at-bat here in the ball game. Got a single, fielder's choice with an RBI, stolen base in game number 1. He's the left-hander. Bats 380, look out, that one's going to get away from Morgan Nygaard. Runner's going to advance. Schulte thought about third, but he's just going to hold up over there at second. That one got away from Morgan Nygaard. 1-1 the count. So what we should do on the PSP network, we should play a little trivia each and every night. I bet we could get Planet Pizza behind that to throw in a free pizza if you got those trivia questions right. Here's the delivery. This ball is going to be sent over to Logan Merck. One down now here in the top half of the third. As Hands pops that one up to Merck.
Pitcher number 15, Connor Hansen.
Connor Hansen up next. Tweet at us at Network PSP. We want to know what your walk-up song of choice would be. Curious. Nissa, the left-hander, takes a call from Morgan Nygaard. The windup and the pitch. He's got heat, just missed the corner, ball one. Well, the night in Mandan that Nissa had the perfect game going. He was floating in between 79 and 81 pretty much the entire ball game. Hit 82 and 83 a few times throughout the night. Outside and away, ball number 2. Runner at second here for the Governors. 2-0 the count. Nissen's wind up in the pitch. Same spot again outside. Connor Hansen, ball number 3. And Nissen way behind in the count now here with one down. That American flag in center field has continued to blow just the way it has since the start of game number 1 tonight. That one caught the corner, 3-1. As Andy mentioned earlier in game number 1 tonight, wind blowing corner to corner. Flag hasn't been at ease all night, and the sun's out shining. Just a beautiful night for baseball. 3-1 pitch. That ball is going to be driven out towards the left field line. One's going to come around to score. Off over to second is Connor Hansen, and Hansen's got a stand-up double and an RBI with his second at-bat of game number 2.
Yeah, Nissen was working that outside corner in the first 3. You know, just got a little more of the plate each time, and he got strike 1 on the corner, and the second strike hit a little bit more of the plate, and Hansen did a good job just shooting it to left field and keeping it inside the line for a double.
Cade Feeney at bat. Right back up through the gap. Oh no, that one's going to go underneath the glove of Harris. There's going to be a play at the plate. Fired in to Morgan. Out at home plate. And 2 down for the Vistas. How about that play as Derek Nygaard got a handle on the baseball. He fired it home to Morgan Nygaard. And the Vistas have 2 down. Now at bat, Crew Walker, the catcher. There's a highlight reel play at the plate. Nygaard to Nygaard. There's 2 away. Ball's going to be hit over to Jack Plemmel. Tried to backhand it. Plemmel lost a handle on it. That will be an error on the first baseman, Jack Plemmel.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough one. Jack was going to his right. Eli Nissen, the pitcher, falls off to the third base side, and he was probably going to be late getting over there to cover. You know, it was kind of the perfect storm there. A tough play to begin with, just didn't end very well, and hopefully he got out of it here.
Logan Merck tracks it back. Damage has been done. 2 hits, 3 Vista errors here in the top half of the third. Good enough for 1 run to come across for the Governors. They lead 1-0 at the end of 2.5 complete. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network. Vistas bring it back to the plate when we return.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Donbassett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line. One hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Donbassett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
1 run for the Governors in the top half of the third inning. 2 hits and 3 errors for the Vistas. Vistas will go back to bottom of the order with Talon Hebert coming up next. Don't forget, if you're buying or selling a home, let 701 Realty's Andrew and McKenna Goodmanson make your experience a positive one. They truly are the best of the business. 701realty.com. Proud supporters of all things Minot athletics. Appreciate them for their support to the PSP network and, of course, the high school athletics across the board. Well, the Vistas have done a nice job defensively. A few of those errors are the ones that make the coaching staff go gray just a little bit, but they're going to happen in baseball. It's how you respond after a situation like that. And the Vistas will go with Talon Hebert at the bottom of the order, then back up to the top with Ruziska, the leadoff batter, Chase Burke, and Derek Nygaard. Here in the bottom half of the third. Hansen still on the hill. That one fired in for a strike on the swing on and a miss. That one's outside for a ball. Well, Hebert didn't register a hit in game number 1. He's going to foul that one away. It's going to land top of the netting and then bounce. Look out right at the concession stand, and a souvenir finds a fan here on the first base line. 1-2 the count. Here's the windup of the pitch from Hansen. That one outside. Nice job for the catcher, Crew Walker, to get up and get a handle on that baseball. 2-2.
Fun to see everybody scurry after those fall ball souvenirs, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Brings back a lot of memories from my young days. Count comes full. Now that was outside. Missed the corner of the outside. Minot Mallard's days chasing those balls around. Here's the windup, the payoff pitch. Ball back by Hebert.
I used to have an old Prairie League ball with Juan Berenguer's signature on it.
That's pretty cool.
I think he pitched for a team. Did he pitch for the team?
Balled back again by Hebert, by the way.
Southern Austin, maybe? Out of Austin, Minnesota. I think he maybe pitched for that team.
Caught the corner and sitting down looking is Talon Hebert. He struck out. Hunter Ruziska back to the top of the order. Well, some of these ball fields, after taking the tour around North Dakota a bit here with summer baseball for the Vistas, there's some nice ball fields around the state of North Dakota and western North Dakota. This ball's going to be smashed out to center field, trying to make a play. Nope, it's going to fall in like a grenade for Ruziska, and he's got a single to start a one-out rally here for the Vistas. Brings up Chase Burke.
Yeah, after all my years coaching with the Vistas and traveling at least the Midwest for sure with some teams, it's we're very fortunate. These young men are very fortunate in North Dakota. Everywhere they go is really a nice place to play, and you know, we're not playing on any school fields in the middle of cities like some of the big communities are. I mean, we're playing in ballparks. It's we're very fortunate to have that for our young people.
2-0 pitch coming here from Hansen to Chase Burke. He walked with his first at bat. Out and away, and he's one pitch away, one ball away from walking again. Yeah, when you state it like that, Andy, it really is something that is pretty unique that shouldn't be taken for granted to get to play on a venue like this. Burke's going to make his way over to first, his second walk of the ball game, and the Vistas have runners in scoring position, one on first, one on second. As up comes Derek Nygaard, the shortstop.
I can remember playing a couple teams from Vegas over my career that came in here. Las Vegas Durango came in here, and a couple of St. Louis teams, and you know, they're always pretty wide-eyed when they come in here. I remember the Vegas guys, you know, asking right away, like, how do you guys, like, who plays here? How do you get to play on this field?
Derek Nygaard smashes one out to Wycombe. Sliding safely over into third is Hunter Ruziska. Sack fly will advance the runners here for the Vistas, which will bring up Jack Plemmel, the cleanup hitter, with runners on the corners and 2 down.
You know, I think they were coming in thinking we're putting on some special event because we're playing Las Vegas, and you know, they were even more mesmerized when we said, well, this is our home field. We play here, you know, every night, and it was pretty cool to see that.
Plemmel hammers the ball, this one into the glove of Cade Feeney, and some frustration there from Jack Plemmel. 3 outs, 1 hit, no runs scored, no Bismarck errors. It's still 1-0 Governors at the end of 3 innings played. This is summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
Vistas leave 2 stranded in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Still 1-0 Bismarck. The Governors on top. Nissan's still on the hill here for the Vistas. Due up here for the Bismarck Governors. Middle of the order with Connor Wycombe, Jack Johnson, and then Ben Patton. Actually, it's tail end of the order here for the Governors. At the break, talking about some of those stories in baseball and just what Legion Ball has done and the opportunities to be able to play some of that talent that you see from some of these other places. And even around North Dakota, it's fun to watch players progress after Legion Ball and the high school season comes to a close. You should almost start jotting some of those things down. Somebody should keep track of that stuff, write a little book.
Yeah, you know, we were fortunate to have a string of some young men that went on and played some pretty significant college baseball. And, you know, you talk about Phil Sherrick playing in 2 College World Series, and Ryan Bullinger spending 1 day in the major leagues with the Yankees, and you know, Tyler Lundy playing some pretty big Division I baseball, Zach Elgie being a 12th round draft pick. I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but you know, Charlie Sherrick going to Korea and throwing a no-hitter in the KBO. I mean, just some of the things that our young guys have been able to achieve throughout the years, through baseball, through this game, through the game that we play right here on Corbett Field. And you know, that's just Minot guys, not to mention you know, some of the guys that have been on the field for just these Bismarck Governors, with, you know, most recently I can't think of Cade's older brother's first name now, the Feeney kid.
Yeah, it's escaping my mind also.
That's at I believe NC State, and Dalton, I think, is his first name. That's correct. Dalton Feeney. You know, when I coached the Vistas, I stood over in the first base box next to Carson Wentz every time we played him for 2 or 3 years. And so, you know, people that say that they're the talent level isn't there from North Dakota, I mean, that's just wrong. It's just, you know, we have less people, so we have less numbers, so the statistics would tell you we're going to have less success. But, you know, and then all the way up to last year with Post 2, darn near winning the American Legion World Series. And it's a pretty neat baseball stories in the state of North Dakota.
Here's the left fielder, Ben Patton. 0 for 1 here in game number 2. He was good in game number 1. 3 at-bats. He went 2 for 3. Single, a double, and an RBI. If you get the opportunity, PSP Network, on our YouTube page, we've got a Inside Look podcast with Charlie Shurik. And we talked to Charlie, who's actually a really good friend of mine. We grew up same grade, we were buddies. I mean, we were good friends back in the day. This one hammered out to right field. And with the glove talent, Heberger's there. And the Vistas retire 3 again. Finish that thought on Charlie Shurik. Take a look at that conversation that we had in his time talking about going through the Vistas program and the high school program, a 3-sport athlete, 10-time letter winner at Minot High, went on to play at Nebraska, getting drafted by the White Sox, playing over in Korea, and what an experience that was. It's worth the 22 minutes that Charlie and I spent on the phone that we put together in the podcast. You can find it on the PSP Network YouTube page. At the end of 3.5 complete, Bismarck Governors still lead 1-0. Vistas are up next at summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
Bismarck Governors make a pitching change. Into the ball game comes Skylar Riedinger. He'll be on the hill after the Vistas were unable to muster up any runs on Connor Hansen's outing here tonight. Connor Hansen goes 3 full innings, gives up 1 hit, 0 runs,
and now playing third base is Isaac.
0 errors. So Riedinger will be on the hill. 6 foot tall, 175 pounder. Graduating class of 2020 from Bismarck. Dylan Vegasted will lead things off here for the Vistas. Walked once tonight. Here's the windup to Vegasted. That one's going to be fouled away and into the mesh. 0-1 the count to Viggy.
Speaking of Charlie Shurik, his mother is sitting just a few feet away from me enjoying some Vista baseball tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Good to see Joy Shurik. Vegasted puts that one past the shortstop up through the gap, and the Vistas have 1 on. That will bring up Kersey Harris, followed by Logan Merck. Former Minot Vista Paul Sharpie at his wedding up at Lake Metagoshi a couple weeks ago. We broadcasted that on the PSP Network, helping him out for everyone that couldn't be there due to current health situation across the country and the globe. Swung out on a miss from Kersey Harris.
First time you ever broadcast a wedding?
That was the first for a wedding, absolutely.
Think about this spring. You did a graduation and now a wedding.
Graduation, a wedding, unbelievable. 2 things I thought would never happen for me. Graduating and getting married. We did a.
You're going to do both.
Yeah. Well, I actually did graduate. I'm trying to make a joke here. I couldn't do it. And I got engaged just the other day.
I saw that.
So, to mark those off the list as well. Here's the windup of the pitch. This one's going to be hit back over to Feeney. Taylor made double play ball. Sent over and hitting into the double play. Kersey Harris. Bing, bang, boom. And 2 down just like that for the Vistas. After the 4-6-3 double play turned out here by the Governors. Anyway, in that Sharpie wedding, Charlie Shurik was one of the ushers, as was I. It's always fun getting together with those guys, telling those stories. You would know, you'd be in on this debate. There was Blake Sharpie, who won a state title with the Vistas back in late 90s, early 2000s. Then Paul Sharpie in the early 2000s, followed by David Sharp. Three brothers, all separated by a couple years.
I don't know if we've ever had three brothers or brothers win state titles before.
Charlie.
We've had father-son.
Father-son, yeah, Luke and John Erickson for sure. That ball's going to be hit well out to right field, but there is Colton Schulte, and just like that, the Vistas are...
Phil and Charlie.
Phil and Charlie.
The Schiricks would have been brothers that won state titles. I don't know if we've ever had three before, though. I can't imagine we have.
I'm working on doing a little documentary on this because the entertainment value of sitting down with those guys after a few pops, if you will, and having a conversation of who was better, what team was better, who had better players.
Especially with those three.
With those three, you have no idea. Vistas end up with one hit in the bottom half of the fourth inning. No runs scored. And at the end of 4 innings complete, still a 1-0 ball game. Bismarck on top. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Dombasset Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line. One hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Dombasset Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
No debate in this one. Tonight we got a ball game with the Governors and Vistas here in game number 2 as we enter the top half of the 5th inning. Vistas registered one hit in the bottom half of the 4th. So a hit in the 4th and a hit in the 3rd. They haven't mustered up a run yet. 2 hits, 1 run for the Governors. That happened in the 3rd inning. Eli Nissen's still on the hill here for the Vistas. At bat, Colton Schulte back up, and we're at the top of the order again here for the Governors. In the top half of the 5th, here's the windup of the pitch. That one's tattooed right up the middle, and Schulte on for his second single of the ball game.
The next batter, number 6.
Yeah, just a jump ahead fastball kind of right down the middle, and Schulte was ready for it. Right back up the box. I believe he started off the whole doubleheader that way as well.
Nick Hines steps in, shows bunt, in for a strike is Nissen. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second here. It is Nissen still in for the Vistas. My apologies. Left-hander throws it over to first, 1 away. So bring up the pitcher. The start of the game here tonight, Connor Hansen. Skylar Redinger came in after 3 innings pitched.
I think Hansen moved over to first base.
Hansen's back at first here for game number 2. Heavy cut, a swing and a miss. 0-1 the count.
Hansen's a nice player. Good swing. Solid at first base. Pretty good pitcher. Can play a lot of positions. I'm sure he can play the outfield if you need him to. Just kind of a classic B-Govs athlete. And as you said earlier, good hockey player as well.
Great hockey player as well. Swung on and he missed that one. 2 strike 2. Reaching for that one was Connor Hansen. Connor Hansen was the senior Gatorade Athlete of the Year for high school hockey in Western North Dakota. Defenseman from Bismarck Century. Touched on that a bit here tonight, talking about what that was like. Century ended up going 12-2 inside of the WDA, and for the first time in quite a while, they ended up trailing Minot to the standings when it was all said and done at the end of the regular season. The Magicians won their first regular season crown in quite some time. Bismarck Century was chomping at their heels. Hansen scored 30 points as a defenseman for the Patriots hockey team. Going to chop that one back. Morgan Nygaard on the run. 40 slid into the Bismarck dugout. Just about hit the fence in front of the Bismarck dugout. Couldn't glove it. Count stays full at 3-2. Mentioned it before, but Hansen moving on to play college hockey at the University of Mary. It created quite the rivalry with the Minot State University Beavers men's hockey team. Just missed the corner and he walked him. And that brings up Cade Feeney, and this is trouble here for the Vistas. Runners on first and second with one out, and Eli Nissen is going to have a conversation coming here with Pat Arnson. Morgan Nygaard comes up, and the Vistas had action in the bullpen. It looks like we're going to have a merry-go-round of things coming our way. We'll take a step aside here on the PSP Network. Conversation at the hill for the Vistas. Cleanup hitter Cade Feeney comes to bat as Eli Nissen gets the big round of applause here from everyone at legendary Corbett Field. We'll take a look at the new pitcher when we return. Governors still lead 1-0 midway through inning number 5.
The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag at Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
The Scotch eggs at Elevation start with a perfectly hard-boiled egg surrounded by chorizo, panko breading, and the signature tangy Elevation sauce.
Don't worry, guys, we have more.
Try the Scotch eggs. You leave satisfied at Elevation.
There's lots of reasons people choose a bank. Locally owned, convenient, friendly people.
Hey Lloyd, what can I do for you today?
First Western is all of those things. But when I think about what my customers want, more than anything, they want to know they can count on me.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank.
Well, Kelvin Watkins comes into the ball game here for the Vistas to try to get the hometown club out of a jam as Cade Feeney, the cleanup hitter, steps in. First pitch is delivered in, and then it's going to be sent foul for strike number 1. Kelvin Watkins on the year, sitting on a 12 for an ERA. 0-3 for a record through 4 games. First batter is one that you can't take lightly by any means. It's Cade Feeney who leads the team for Bismarck in batting average. Feeney batting on the year .469 with 4 home runs. 1-1 the count. These are those nail-biter situations and a pivotal point in the ball game. Over the halfway point. Watkins delivers for strike number 2. 1-2 the count. Looking for another one here against the stud for Bismarck. Sun continues to glare right into that batter's box. Here's the windup down in to the turf. Nice block there from Nygaard.
That's a second block that Nygaard's made in this at-bat that have been outstanding. I mean, middle of the batter's box, that's a tough thing to do. And he's probably saved a run at this point.
Nygaard delivers the call to Watkins. Ball's going to be hit right back up to the gap. No, my goodness, Logan Merck dropped it. And that was a tailor-made double play ball right to Merck. Needed to step on the bag to Derek Nygaard. 4 errors now on the Vistas, and the worst news for Minot is The bases are loaded as Crew Walker steps into the batter's box with one down. Those are the ones that nightmares are made of.
Yeah, that Feeney runs well, but that was hit hard enough, and it seems like that was going to be an easy flip to Nygaard coming across the base with momentum to throw to first, and the opportunity to get out of that, maybe get some momentum going into the bottom half of the fifth and go score some runs, but work to do yet.
Crew Walker steps in. Out and away, ball number 1. 0 for 2 for Crew Walker so far tonight in game number 2. Pair of singles in game number 1, and he came around to score twice as well in the first game. This ball chopped over to Plemmel, brings it back home, and the force on at home as the Vistas with 2 down now here in the top half of the 5th. Trying to get out of a major jab, and a nice play from Plemmel. And the 3-2 putout.
Now batting the pitcher, the pitcher number 11, Skylar Riedinger.
Riedinger comes up to bat. He moved from shortstop up to the hill. He's going to sky this one straight up. Comes right back to the pitcher, Calvin Watkins. Out of the jam go the Vistas, and the defense on point here in the top half of the 5th. That could have been ugly for Minot. They get out of it. Still a 1-0 ball game. Let's go to the bottom half of inning number 5. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus.
Well, the Vistas get out of a major jam there. The top half of the 5th inning could have been ugly for the home team. They find a way to leave 3 runners stranded there for Bismarck, and an opportunity for more as Jack Plemmel had the force out at home. 1 hit, no runs. Top half of the 5th inning for the Governors from Bismarck, who currently inside the standings in North Dakota. Sit behind Fargo Post 2, who's won 6 games in a row. They're 9-1 in conference play, by the way, Andy. Fargo Post 2 is by far the team to beat. Dickinson Rough Riders sit on a 6-4 record. They've won 3 in a row. Grand Forks sitting in 3rd. The Blue Devils have lost 3 in a row. Bismarck Governors have won 3 in a row in conference play. They sit in 4th currently with the 6-4 mark, and there's a logjam for 2nd. West Fargo Patriots sit in 5th. The Vistas sit in 6th. This is a big game number 2 here for the Vistas, trying to gain some momentum and break the skid. They've lost 3 in a row of conference matchups, including that sweep they took from the Rough Riders from Dickinson. This ball is going to be hit there by Morgan Nygaard. That one's skying out to left field, and the first out to the bottom half of the 5th inning from Morgan Nygaard's towering shot out to left field. How important in your mind is seeding heading into the state tournament?
I think more important is maybe the matchup you're going to get in the first round rather than the seedings, because sometimes, like, I can remember a couple of years when I was coaching, some of the teams that were not seeded as high were harder matchups for us, just because they had one pitcher we didn't hit very well, or they just had seen our better pitcher a few times, or just there's just so many differing reasons as to thoughts on that. I guess so. On one hand, it's very important, but I would say it's the matchups more than it is the seedings, more than the number. I don't think you're more confident going in as a 3 seed than a 4 seed. I think it just is depending on who you're going to get in the matchup.
The next batter, number 21, the leadoff hitter, left fielder Hunter Ruziska.
Talon Hebert, 2 strikeouts in a row. There's 2 down, brings up Hunter Ruziska. Falls the first one back. He's 1 for 2 here in the ballgame with a single tonight. Momentum is the other thing. Heading into tournament time when you can get the...
Yeah, for sure. And it can go the other way, too. You know, you can be the 1 seed all year and drop 3 out of your last 4, and all of a sudden you're the 2 seed, and you know that you might as well be the 8 seed because you're not confident, you have no momentum, you're not playing very well, or the other way around.
Ruziska's got a pair of singles in the ball game here as he sends that one, the comebacker, right through the gap. Brings up Chase Burke. Pair of walks here in the ball game.
Number 3, Chase Burke.
He was good in game number 1 as well. Got to first, came around to score. Got to second. Single and a double, 2 for 3. Scored both of the Vistas runs in game number 1. It's Jack Plemmel that batted him around both times in the first game, by the way.
Hopefully I don't jinx this game, but I believe it was in 2004. 3 or 4. I was coaching for the Vistas, and that's back when they had a West and an East in Legion Baseball, and the Governors and the Vistas were playing right here at Corbett Field in the championship game of the West Division tournament, and ended up going 18 innings. Yeah, it was like it was, you know, high 90s, like a 4-hour and some game, and it started out as just kind of a fun thing because 1 or 2 didn't really matter. You're still top of the bracket, bottom of the bracket, avoiding each other at the state tournament, that type of thing, and it got competitive real fast.
I could see that. 3-1 to Burke. Here's the pitch, and he walks for the 3rd time in the ball game here tonight. That brings up Derek Nygaard, the shortstop, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Yeah, you get to extra inning number 3, extra inning number 4, number 5. After a while, it gets a little intense, I would have to think. Did you run out of arms in that ball game?
Well, and that was the thing. I was just going to say the goal was to just kind of use a lot of different arms because we had the state tournament coming up, and here we end up both playing the equivalent of 2 games, and you know, almost every pitcher pitched twice as much as they had planned on going in, and the worst part was we lost.
1-1 the count. Here to Derek Nygaard, the shortstop. Swung on and a miss, strike 2. Nice pitch there from Skylar Redinger.
Breaking ball, probably the best one he's thrown the whole game.
Came into the 4th inning. He's given up 1 hit in his outing, no runs. Runners on first and second for the Vistas, 2 down. Derek Nygaard calls for time. Pitch was still delivered, but not before Nygaard left the box. Redinger checks the runner over at second. Here's the windup of the pitch. Swung on, he struck him out. Bottom half of the 5th comes to a close. No runs, no hits for the Vistas. Still a 1-0 ball game. Let's go to the 6th. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Summer baseball on the PSP Network brought to you by 701 Realty. If you're buying or selling a home, let 701 Realty's Andrew and McKenna Goodmanson make your experience a positive one. give the Goodmansons a call or visit them online at 701realty.com. Also like to thank our good friends from Planet Pizza. They have a 30-inch pizza there called the Galactic. That thing truly is out of this world. They have a lunch buffet every single weekday from 11 to 2. They also have delicious, delicious chicken wings at Planet Pizza. 701-852-1700. They're open now. They'll deliver anywhere inside the Magic City. Well, the top half of the 6th inning is upon us. And leading things off here for the Governors from Bismarck. Will be number 9, Connor Whitecomb, the center fielder.
Center fielder, number 9, Connor Whitecomb.
It's been a fun ball game here tonight with 6 combined hits, 1 run scored. It's been a pitcher's duel to say the least. Kelvin Watkins on the hill for the Vistas. He'll deliver. That ball's going to be tattooed out to left field. And Whitecomb gets things started here for the Governors with a single.
The next batter, the third baseman, number 7.
Take hits like that all day long.
Yeah, again, just a get-ahead fastball and put a good swing on it. Line drive. Not really down the line, but more towards the line in left field. And rounded hard. Took a look at too, but Rosiska did a good job getting the ball back in and keeping him at first base.
Isaac Peebgore comes in. Bat for Jack Johnson. Johnson went 0 for 2 in the ball game. Now Peebgore has come in to bat after game number 1 where he was walked once and then went 0 for 3. 1-0 the count. Peebgore, the big right-hander, steps in. There's the delivery. That one missed the corner. Ball number 2. Kind of a quiet crowd here tonight at legendary Corbett Field. Not a big crowd on hand. Not a small crowd either for summer baseball. Way inside. Ball number 4. There's runners on first and second, as Calvin Watkins has found himself into a jam as we go to the bottom of the order here with Ben Patton, the left fielder.
The next batter, left fielder number 3, Ben Patton.
Nobody out. Top half of the 6th inning. Vistas lost in game number 1, 9-2. If you're just joining us here tonight. Showing bunt. Plemmel's way in on it. Plemmel one-handed scoops it over to third. Did they get him? No. First base. And a perfectly executed bunt. Great play there from Jack Plemmel, the first baseman, who ran in on it, one-handed, grabbed it, tossed it over to third. Just not in time. And the bases are jammed now as Colton Schulte comes back to the plate. And in his last 2 at-bats, he's got a pair of singles. Vigastad's off to the bullpen. In action in the Minot bullpen, as the Vistas find themselves in a jam here with Calvin Watkins loading the bases. Sent that one just outside, ball 1. Top of the order again with Schulte. Tosses it over to Merck at second. 1 run will come across to score. 2-0 down, Governors. RBI, the fielder's choice.
Next batter, the shortstop, number 6, Nick Hins.
Yeah, you'd have to think the Vistas are going to try and hold them right here. Oh, obviously they're going to try and hold them right here, but with just two swings left, just a 2-run deficit here, and if they can maybe get a double play ball, a pop up on the infield, something like that is what you're looking for. Bismarck will also play the squeeze bunt game, so you may see that as well. That's twice now. I kind of thought he might have offered at that, but
Kins is back at the batter's box, the left-handed hitter. Batting .380 on the year. Morgan Nygaard's done a great job behind the dish here tonight for the Vistas.
Yeah, he really has. He's blocked many balls in the dirt, and this is probably a take a strike spot. He's showed bunt several times here, and it looks to me if he gets a strike, he's probably just going to put it down. The base runner will come as far as the third baseman goes and look to just score on the throw.
Just missed the corner, and he walked him. Bases are loaded again. Vegaston in the bullpen for the Vistas. As up now is Connor Hansen. RBI double his last at bat. And the Vistas are going to take some time and have a conversation on the hills. Pat Arnson comes up to talk to Kelvin Watkins. Morgan Nygaard comes up as well. 2-0 Governors on top. Quick conversation here at the mound. Vegaston takes more pitches in the bullpen. That American flag has been blowing the same speed the entire night here tonight. It's been pointing over towards the left field fence this entire ball game. This entire day since I got here at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Same breeze all afternoon long. It was pretty cloudy in the afternoon hours. And now it's just beautiful and sunny here tonight. Hansen takes the first pitch.
Good aggressive cut. He's looking to do some damage.
Fouled that one back. Well, in this situation, he's got the green light, you'd have to assume, with one down. Another hard cut fouled away, 1-2. Well, Watkins ahead of the count. Bases are loaded. One runner scored here in the top half of the sixth. The windup of the pitch. Down to the dirt, and again, Morgan Nygaard. Excellent block from the dish. Oh, when you look at Watkins' numbers on the hill, ERA of 12, not the numbers he's looking to have at this point in the season. Trying to see if he can get out of a jam here. Here's the windup in the pitch. That one's going to be chopped right back over to Merck. Double play ball again. Merck drops the baseball. And an E will be marked next to the 4 again here for the Vistas. And that's the second or third time of the ball game. The fifth error on the Vistas here in game number 2. Second time a tailor-made double play ball has gone the way of Merck.
Second baseman, Cade Feeney.
And the bad news continues for the Vistas. Here's Cade Feeney. And he's going to tower one out towards left field. That one at the track, at the wall. See you later. A grand slam for Cade Feeney. And the Governors rack him up as Feeney touches them all.
Yeah, it looked like a fastball in the inner part of the plate. I'm not sure Cade got all of it. It was very high and continued to travel down the left field line just inside the fair foul pole, and Resist got a beat on it, but just ran out of room.
Catcher number 2, Crew Walker.
Crew Walker comes up to bat. He'll tower one over towards the third baseline. Look on a coach's conversation there, and the ball will go out of play. That one came off the bat from Feeney, and you knew that it had some major mustard on it. That one didn't have any issues crossing.
Yeah, from where we sit here, we don't get a whole we don't get a great look at the elevation of the baseball, but just Cade's reaction was one of those where he kind of thought this is either going to be caught or it's going to be out of the ballpark, and unfortunately for the Vistas, it was the second one.
7-0 now. Governors on top. Hard hit baseball out towards Chase Burke. He's going to track it down. 2 outs now for the Vistas here in the top half of the 6th.
Next batter is the pitcher number 11, Skyler Riediger.
Riediger comes back to bat. He's in the pitching position now here for the Governors. He's got some run support now with 7 on the board compared to the Vistas 0. Here's the windup of the pitch. Inside corner, strike number 1. Oh, 1 pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Strike 2 to Riediger. Inside corner. Swung on, he missed it. That's how the inning will come to a close. The grand slam from Cade Feeney, the story of the 6th inning. 6 runs were scored. 4 off the bat of Cade Feeney. 7-0. Bismarck on top. The Vistas looking to rally here in the bottom half of the 6th. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vibeto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
fifth home run of the year for Cade Feeney, and it was a grand slam, and it's got the Governors on top 7-0 through 5.5 complete.
Bismarck Governors, number 6, Nick Hins, now playing shortstop, number 11, Skyler Riediger.
Well, you hear the legendary voice of Scotty Cattell. The pitching change there for the Governors. So we enter the bottom half of the 6th. Can the Vistas muster up some hits? Here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, that's the question mark now. Is the time for the Vistas to do so? They need to come back and a rally here as Cade Feeney's grand slam shot over the 316 mark over in left field really kind of took the air out of the sails for the Vistas that were sitting on a 1-0 deficit entering the top half of the 6th. Plemmel will be the first to see if he can lead things off here for the Vistas. .397 batting average on the year. He's got power to take it yard. He hasn't done so yet here in 2020. Takes ball 1.
Jack's had a nice night at the plate. Let's see if he can maybe get something going here for the Vistas.
Pair of RBIs at game number 1 here tonight. Ball got past the catcher. Ball number 2. Wind up of the pitch. Jack's going to send that one to the opposite field, but foul. Here's the windup. And the pitch inside, 3-1. Hines takes the call from Crew Walker. Here's the delivery outside, and Jack Plemmel will find himself at first base on the walk. Brings up Dylan Vegaston.
Now that the designated hitter number 14.
Hit a walk.
Dylan Vegaston.
And a single so far in the ball game here tonight. The windup of the pitch, up and away, ball one. He went to the Vistas bullpen as Watkins found himself in the jam. That was before Feeney took it yard. Big cut and a miss.
Good aggressive swing there by Viggy. Looks like he got something off speed that he wasn't expecting, and just a little change-up or a breaking ball that he swung through.
After that big cut and a miss, he had a little bit of a conversation there with Crew Walker, catcher for the Governors. It's been a fly on the wall for that one. Here's the pitch outside, ball 3. 3-1 to count. Flubbles at first on the walk. Vigastad has the 3-1 count. Hines takes the call from Walker. The delivery down and away. Ball 4. The Vistas have 2 on.
Yeah, I don't know Crew, but I know Viggy, so possibilities are infinite as to what's going on there.
I was thinking the same exact thing. Kersey Harris hit into a fielder's choice, his first at bat. Here's the windup of the pitch inside, but he caught the corner. 1-1. Well, the Vista's in good shape here with 2 runners on, nobody out. Kersey Harris trying to do some damage and help claw the way back into the ballgame for the Vistas, who trail 7-0. 1 run scored in the 3rd for Bismarck, 6 in the 6th. Those are the only runs to report on the board here in game number 2 tonight. Here's the windup from Hines in the pitch. Caught the corner, 2-2. 22 combined state championships between these two teams. Bismarck has the advantage with 2 more. Their last was in 2014. Runner goes for the Vistas. Ball's outside. Both runners will advance. And with the full count, there's runners in scoring position here for the Vistas. Talked about that earlier in the ball game here tonight. It's been since 2010 for Minot. Bit of a drought for the Vistas. Hines the windup of the payoff pitch. Fouled back. They're from Kersey Harris. Vistas are in action tomorrow. They take on Dickinson. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. here at legendary Corbett Field. 1 9-inning game tomorrow against the Rough Riders. Down and away. The bases are juiced for the Vistas. Brings up Logan Merck. 1 for 2 in the ball game, a single.
Now batting, second baseman number 1, Logan Merck.
Conversation at the mound.
So far, Vista hitters. Sorry, Nick. So far, the Vista hitters this inning have done a good job staying patient. They haven't tried to do too much. They just have kind of stayed within their bats and got a possible big inning coming here.
Here's the pitch to Merck, down and away, ball 1. Well, you feel bad for Merck on a night like tonight. A couple errors have been credited to his name in this ball game, and some tailor-made double play balls. He has an opportunity to get some back here, and he's going to rope one out to right field. And Merck is on for an RBI single. Just what Logan Merck was hoping to do with that at-bat. The Vistas score 1 on Merck's RBI single. Advances the runners around, and now the youngster, Morgan Nygaard, the catcher, comes to bat. Talk about a big stage here for the catcher in his first Vistas action here tonight. Gonna chop that one.
That's fair.
Fair ball. 2 runs will score for the Vistas as Morgan Nygaard sends one over the third baseman's head. That one fell off the table. And now we've got a rally, and the Vistas have scored 3. Nobody out, and runners on first and second after Morgan Nygaard brings 2 around.
And kind of a different play there, you know. He just kind of chopped the ball, what you expect to roll foul, and it just kind of stayed over the third baseman's head and it didn't curve. It just stayed right on the line, and first Vista hit for the young man, I believe.
And it's a big one, 2 RBIs. Here's the windup of the pitch. This ball is going to be chopped over towards third base. Fielder's choice there. Talon Hebert, but the runners advance over to third and first.
The double play has been pretty slippery tonight.
Double play has been very hard to come by. Slippery is an understatement, maybe.
Even on that one, Cade Feeney got to the base and struggled a little bit to get the ball out of his glove. I don't know if they had a chance to double off Hebert, but not even a throw over to first. So,
top of the order for the Vistas. Ruziska's back up. Pair of singles in the ball game tonight for Ruziska. The Vistas are right back in this thing, 7-3 the score now. 5 hits on each side. The number that really has affected the Vistas tonight is that 5 that's underneath the ERR, standing for the errors that the Vistas have committed in the ball game. The deliveries outside, 1-1. Hines tossing to Crew Walker here in the bottom half of the 6th. Governors have 1 down. Here's the windup of the pitch. Right down Broadway, swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Chase Burke due up next, followed by Derek Nygaard. Here's the windup of the pitch. This ball is going to be plastered out to right field, off the shortstop's glove. Runner's going to turn towards third. The Vistas have runners on the corners again, as that ball was plastered by Ruziska. Hit the shortstop right on the tip of the glove, and the Vistas are now within 3.
Now batting number 3, center fielder Chase Burke.
Conversation at the hill now will ensue as Crew Walker comes up to talk to his pitcher after that ball was blasted there. I've been saying Hines, it's Colton Schulte, I believe, that's on the hill here for the Governors, 5-6. And the Governors will make a pitching change, as it seems. Well, the Vistas have a rally of their own here in the bottom half of the 6th. A little bit of everything in this ball game here tonight, Dandy. A pitcher's duel for the first 5 innings, and then here in the 6th, it's been an all-out Donnybrook. 10 runs have scored combined. 6 for the Governors, 4 for the Vistas now. And the Vistas still have 2 outs to play with. We'll hear from our sponsors as there's a conversation at the hill. Vistas still have runners in scoring position. 1 down, and we got a ball game here from Corbett. We'll take a look at the new pitcher when we return. Summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bassett Motors, Diamond Tea Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vibeto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bassett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bassett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
Chase Burke at bat here for the Vistas. Takes strike number 1, I do believe there. Had some confusion. It's Hins that's on the hill now wearing number 6. Colton Schulte was on the hill wearing number 5, the replacement pitcher for Redinger. That 5 looks a lot like a 6 from up here. Burke is going to smash it towards the gap. 1 run will score around towards third. There's going to be a play at third base. In for the safe call. Sliding into third, and a nice play there. Hunter Ruziska comes over to third base. RBI double for Chase Burke.
The next batter provided number 2, shortstop, Derek Nygaard.
Well, we got a ball game on our hands tonight. 7-5 now the score as Derek Nygaard steps in. Runners on second and third here for the Vistas with 1 down. Here's the windup of the pitch inside. Strike number 1. Well, Chase Burke's been waiting for that through his 4 at-bats tonight. He was walked 3 times previously. Here in the ball game, he got a hold of that one and sent it out to the left field gap just between the third baseman and the shortstop. 1 run will score. He gets over to second. He's got wheels on him. Excited to watch him on the gridiron for Minot High football coming up in just a couple months. Swung on and a miss from Nygaard. Strike number 2. My goodness, what an inning and a difference an inning can make here, Andy, as 11 runs have now been scored here in the 6th. Ends the windup. This one's going to be chopped back over towards first. Uh-oh, we've got a hot box on our hands here as Burke's going to have to slide back in over to second. And the double play results in the end of the inning there for the Vistas. Just a miscommunication.
Double play.
That's the double play ball right there.
Yeah, it just, Berkey kind of broke cardinal sin of baseball. Don't run the guy off in front of you. And he just didn't, he got a good break on the ball thinking he was going, and he didn't read ahead. It's a tough one.
6 complete now.
5 hits and 5 runs for the Vistas. In the bottom half of the 6th, we got a ball game. Final inning is next. It's summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, by Beto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus.
Well, a miscommunication there for the Vistas at the end of the top half of the 6th. Still a very positive inning for the Vistas. They score 5 runs on 5 hits in the bottom half of the 6th, and we enter the 7th inning now. The Vistas, more importantly than ever here in this ball game, after compiling 5 runs after they gave up 6 in the top half, they're looking for a shutdown inning here in the top half of the 7th.
Leading off for Bismarck in the top
Bismarck
half,
has Connor Weinkamp, Isaac Igor, and Ben Patton due up. Here's the windup of the pitch. That one catches the corner, strike 1.
Yeah, this is where Watkins needs to, have a short memory, forget about what happened in the 6th, and throw up a goose egg and give his team a chance in the bottom half here.
Here's the windup of the pitch. That one's going to be fouled back. Look out if you're at Roosevelt Park Zoo. That one's coming for you. 0-2 and ahead in the count is Watkins. Never easy getting shelled and giving up 6 in an inning. Watkins steps right back in and strikes out the first batter he sees looking. 1 down for the Vistas here in the top half of the 7th is Watkins. Marks the K down on batter number 1 here in the top half of the 7th.
Number 7, third baseman Isaac Igors.
Igors comes back to bat. takes ball number 1. Inside the sweet chin music. Ball number 2. Kelvin Watkins comes set. Here's the windup of the pitch. Hit the corner on the outside. Strike 1, 2-1 the count. What a beautiful night for baseball here at legendary Corbett Field. Nothing like this place on a hot July night. 3-1 the count. Vistas trying to make a memory out of it here. Right back at Watkins, the comebacker. He's just going to run it over to first himself, over to Plemmel. And the Vistas have 2 down. Just the way they drew up the 7th inning in the top half. If they can get one more here, as Ben Patton, the left fielder, comes up to bat. Scored a run on the fielder's choice during the rally in the 6th.
You know, it's funny how you can be so far removed from the game. We're sitting up here in chairs, but you can just feel the swing of momentum. And, you know, both of us have seen enough athletic competitions. We've seen it all over the place. It just this has that feel where the momentum has swung, and Minot seems to be feeding off of it now, and Bismarck is kind of letting it happen. Be interesting to see how this one finishes.
Some fireworks to come, nevertheless. Either way, I agree. These are the fun ones. You like a high-scoring game, or are you more of a pitcher duel kind of guy, 1-0, something like that? That chop foul, by the way.
You know, I don't dislike the classic pitcher's duel, but I like to see really good baseball. So if that means guys hitting it and running all over the park, I'm okay with that. If that means great defense and great pitching and you know, dominating pitching, I'm okay with that too. I like it all. I just like really good baseball.
It's been a fun one tonight. 7-5 the score. Ben Patton finds his way over to first on the walk. Back to the top of the order. Colton Schulte comes up. 3 singles in a row. He's got an RBI in the ballgame. 2 down for the Vistas. Watkins delivers inside, ball 1. First pitch tonight, 5:03 p.m. It was 69 degrees. It was just a beautiful night to start things off. Even better if you're a Bismarck Governors fan. They took it to the Vistas in game 1. 9-2 was the final in game number 1. And here we are in game number 2 in a 7-5 dogfight. Watkins takes the call for Morgan Nygaard. Ball will be fouled back. Strike 1. 2-1 the count, 2 down. Can't see it from the view on the PSP network, but down here in the valley in the Magic City, the green trees up on the hills. Sun just hitting it perfectly. Chopper over to the third baseman. Nygaard scoops, delivers, and the Vistas get out of the top half of the 7th. No hits and no runs scored for Bismarck. Did the Vistas have 3 in them for the win tonight? We're about to find out. Summer baseball, the PSP network. The fireworks are coming at us next if they're about to happen. Buckle up tight. Bottom half of the 7th is next.
This presentation on the PSP network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vibeto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
Van Halen on the loudspeakers here at legendary Corbett Field. Nobody scored in the first, second. The Governors got one in the third. Nobody scored in the fourth or the fifth. The sixth inning was an absolute Donnybrook on the score sheet. 6 for the Governors, 5 for the Vistas. Minot trails 7-5 here in the bottom half of the seventh. Hines is in to pitch here for the Governors. Second inning in a row for him as the Vistas are right in the heart of their order. It's cleanup batter Jack Plemmel to start things off. His last at bat resulted in a walk. Hines the delivery to Plemmel. Strike number 1. Off-speed pitch, 0-1 the count. Pair of RBIs in game number 1. He scored both the runs. Brought both the runs in for the Vistas in game 1. Strike 2. 0-2.
Yeah, good pitch right there. Up and away in the strike zone. Right on the corner. Fastball. Came back with a breaking ball.
Struck him out looking, and Plemmel sits down for out number 1 for the Vistas. Brings up Dylan Bangaston. Well, they need one out of Viggy. They're down by 2 with 1 out. Here's the windup of the pitch. That one right down Broadway, and Hines is delivering some special sauce here in the bottom half of the seventh. Here's the windup. Pitch down and away, 1-1.
Took me a second.
The 1-1 pitch. Up high, ball number 2. Well, Vigastad chomping at the bit for 1 here. The delivery. Outside, ball 3.
Yeah, they look to be working Viggy, fastball, breaking ball, fastball, breaking ball, fastball, breaking ball. This would be the fastball time, so if he's thinking the same way, we'll see.
The delivery to Vigastad. Swung on and he missed. You were right. That one had some speed on it. And the count is full. Here's the payoff pitch with 1 down, bottom half of the 7th. Struck him out in a pair of Ks to start things off here in the bottom half of the 7th. Kersey Harris comes up next. Well, the fireworks may be on the hill as the Governors are 1 out away from picking up win number 7 inside the conference. Strike number 1. Win here for Bismarck improves their record overall to 15-6 on the year, 7-4 inside of conference play. The Vistas can't muster up at least 3 here with 2 down. They're going to fall to 8-13 on the year and 6-8 inside the conference. Hyde shakes off Crew Walker twice. Here's the windup. Now the pitch. This one chopped over to third. Going to be trouble and on to first base. Kersey Harris. That ball was chopped to third. They're going to mark it an error on the official score sheet. Third baseman for Bismarck.
The next batter, number 1,
charged with the E5. Logan Merck's got a pair of singles in the ball game. He's also got an RBI here tonight. He represents the tying run outside, ball 1. We live for moments like this, the intense situations. Vistas with a 5-run rally. Bottom of the 6th. Trying to start a 2-out rally here in the bottom of the 7th. If they don't, the ball game's over. Hines checks the runner over at first. Kersey Harris slides in safely. 7 hits for the Vistas tonight in game number 2. 5 errors has really been the Achilles heel for them here in this ball game. Swung on and a heavy cut for Merck. He missed. 1-2. Hyde's taking the call from Crew Walker. Looks over to first base. Swung on. Did he tip it? Strike number 3 in the ball. Game's over. The Governors take a sweep from the Vistas tonight. 7-5 the final score here in this one. 7 runs on 5 hits for the Governors, 5 runs on 7 hits for the Vistas. A sweep for the Governors tonight. We'll tell you how they did it when we come back. Final score of this one, 7-5. The Governors get a win in game number 2. Let's go to our post-game show. Summer baseball here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett Motors, Diamond T Ranch, First Western Bank and Trust, Lowe's Printing, Planet Pizza, Ryan Chevrolet, Shields, Vibeto Orthodontics, Homesteaders, Tires Plus,
It's a 4th of July sales explosion at Don Bissett Hyundai. Through the month of June, celebrate the freedom of a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease on our 2019 Hyundai Elantra GT N-Line, one hot and sporty car, and only $289 a month. Or our 2019 Ioniq Hybrid that averages 55 miles per gallon, only $297 per month. Call 852-3300 for details. These deals won't last long, so get to Don Bissett Hyundai on top of Minot's North Hill.
Premier Movement of Minot is now open. It's time to focus on your better health. Premier Movement is taking all the necessary precautions and guidelines for social distancing and safety. On top of that, by design, our workout classes have always featured small groups for better focus, accountability, and better results. And speaking of accountability, we're locally owned and take pride in the services we provide in helping clients achieve their fitness goals. Try a free 2-week trial and see for yourself. Find us at premiermovementnd.com.
Bismarck Governors take a pair tonight from the Minot Vistas here at legendary Corbett Field. Nick Kohlberg alongside of Andy Latch to recap the doubleheader here tonight that belonged to the Governors. Entertaining ball game in game number 2. 1 run for the Governors in the 3rd. It was a 1-0 lead for them all the way till the 6th inning. And then it was Cade Feeney that went yard with the bases loaded. 6 runs were scored in the 6th. They led at that point 7-0. Vistas had a rally of their own in the bottom half of the 6th. They scored 5 runs on 5 hits in the 6th inning. 7-5 ball game. We go to the 7th. Both pitchers hang on tight, and that's how we ended tonight, 7-5. Andy, your overall thoughts on the doubleheader tonight? Bismarck showed why they're one of the tops in the conference.
Yeah, they just have a lot of athletes on their team. The first game was kind of both games actually, as it turned out, were the kind of a story of Cade Feeney. In the first game, he dominated from the hill and really pounded the strike zone with that hard fastball and had 10 strikeouts and just kept the Vista hitters off guard. And then, the second game, it was kind of like everyone just sat around and waited for something to happen, and he kind of made it happen with his teammates put him in a good spot, and he put a good swing on it. And the Vistas fought hard. 5 runs in the bottom half of the 6th there, and against a good Bismarck team, and they just came up a little short.
On to another home matchup tomorrow night in a game against Dickinson. If you're Pat Arnson right now, what's the message in the room for your ball club after getting swept at home here tonight?
The fun thing about baseball is you get to play the next day. Football, basketball, hockey, they're a little more spread out, but baseball, you seem like you cram a lot of games into a small amount of time, and the game doesn't care what happened today. You come back tomorrow, and it might be the best day you've ever had, and that's the best part about baseball. So, I think the message is probably going to be, hey, we got to do a lot of things better, but keep that positive mental attitude towards working hard and playing the game of baseball the right way, and good things can still happen tomorrow. So,
Andy, I sure appreciate your time. Fun working with you here at
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That's Andy Latch, the Executive Director of Magic City Youth Baseball. joining us tonight. We sure appreciate his time. Special thanks to all the fans and sponsors as well for being a part of PSP Network's presentation of summer baseball tonight. The Governors take 2 from the Vistas. 9-2 and 7-5 here tonight from legendary Corbett Field. Action resumes tomorrow. Dickinson will be in town for a 9-inning game tomorrow night. That starts at 5 o'clock. We unfortunately will not have coverage on the PSP Network. Other obligations have us elsewhere tomorrow night. Wish best luck to both teams tomorrow evening. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Network PSP and on Facebook at the PSP Network. For Andy Latch, I'm Nick Holberg signing off tonight from Corbett Field. The Governors take 2. Vistas are back at it tomorrow. Until the next time, good night and God bless.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Don Bissett